Live.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, everyone? Anybody on yet?
It doesn't tell you how many people are on it, does it?
I have no clue.
You can wait a little bit and see. I don't know how that works to see how many people are on and how many aren't.
It's like a little person. What's this numbers next to it?
Ask how many people are on there.
One.
You.
I'll wait a minute before give people time to get on, get the notification. I'm already on.
Yeah.
Two watching. One's you. Or watching. All right, so what's up, everyone? I don't know who's all on yet or the notification went out, but you just got yours. All right, so my daughter said she just got the notification. So as you guys see, I want to talk about. I want to wait till more people get to. Can't hear you. What's up, Goyo? My daughter's trying to whisper what you said, but I sent mine to you too. And
I want to ask you for a favor. Send a special dedication shout out to my beautiful wife Tish. Today's our 18th marriage anniversary. I just want to let you know
what?
I want to ask you for a big favor. Send a special dedication shout out to my beautiful wife Tish. Today's our 18th marriage anniversary. I just want to let her know that I love her with all my heart.
All right, dude. What's your name, Tish?
Tish.
All right, so Goyo wants to send how many years? 18 years dedication to his beautiful wife Tish.
18 years.
Yeah, 18 years, right?
18. It's the 18th marriage anniversary.
18 marriage
I want
anniversary.
to ask you for a big favor. Send a special dedication shout out to my beautiful wife, Trish. Today's
Tish.
our 18th marriage anniversary. I just wanted to let her know that I love her with all my heart. Congratulations, 18 years. Wow, that's a long time.
Oh my God.
So
Congratulations. And my phone.
let me know when you're ready, babe.
Go ahead, you can start. I'm just trying to do something.
All right, well, I don't want to start yet, and then. All right, so today I'm going to talk about, like I said, it's not going to be, I'm not going to play no music or anything like that because today makes 4 years since I got hit by a drunk driver. So that's what I want to talk about today. Pretty much everything we went through, everything we're going through to this day. And all days, my mouth is starting to act up. But today makes 4 years since I got hit by a drunk driver. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to take you back.
Over here.
Huh?
Go over to your left a little bit.
Right there.
Yep.
All right. So I want to talk about. I want to take it back a little bit before my accident, and let everybody know how I was as a person. Well, as a person, I'm the same person before my accident. So I don't know who's all on yet. So I want to give people a little bit more time to get on. But I know football's on. Chicago Bears and Green Bay's playing. It's a division game. So I don't expect too many people to get on but for those that are on, I'm pretty much going to break it down on what happened the morning of and how I was before my accident. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and get started now. Like I said, I don't know how many people's on. So let me go ahead and get started on me as a person before my accident. So before my accident, I was a very upfront father. When it came down to my kids, I used to tell all the jobs that I was at that when it comes down to my kids' events, or when it comes down to anything to do with my kids or events, you're either gonna have to fire me or I'll quit. So I'm not gonna miss any one of their events. And there was one job that did try to test the waters one time, and after I told them pretty much to hit up, they tried calling me back, say, "Hey, you know what? Come back." We didn't. We didn't know it was a bullshit. They knew because I told them, and they wanted to lose a couple of accounts, and I left because I was pretty much one of the best workers. But that was something I never played with. When it came down to my kids' events, I was either there, and if I wasn't, there was no ifs, what's, buts about it. I was gonna be there, and so I was very, really, really close with, of course, my lady and my kids, and that's who I was as a person. And I was very upfront father. I was there 24/7, and so I made sure I had the days off when my kids gonna have a game, or like when they went to Vegas. I made sure I had the weekend off for nationals or for states, and that's something that I made sure I was always there. I always make sure I was there. Always make sure I was there. And but every job that I had, I said it from up front. That's something I said from up front, and for the most part, they respected it. They respected that I said that up front, and I let it know from the jump. And so as soon as I said my kids had an event, okay, you have it off, or I never tripped. Like I said, except for one job, and that was because this certain boss was on a power trip, and as soon as he seen that I wasn't playing around, and I walked out. I walked on the spot, and well, he texted me a couple of times, and he ended up losing his job. It was a big company. He ended up losing his job over it. And every time that I left, I made it clear that he's the reason why I left. So, that's just the kind of father I was. A lot of it had to do with my past when I was growing up. I always said, well, I want to give my kids a better life than what I had. Because, I had which, everybody has, I had a rough upbringing. And, but that was something that, I thrive to be the best father I can. I want to give my kids the best that I ever had. And, that's something that I think, for the most part, I didn't give them the life that I wanted to give them. But for the most part, I gave them a better life that I had when I was growing up. So, as well, if, anybody wants to tap in and join my live, to ask any questions or talk about or say anything, please let us know. We'll put the link in the comments, and you could join. Even you want to keep your camera off, it's completely up to you. But so pretty much today is going to be exactly what the description was. In the description, it leaves my information as well. But so throughout I tell you pretty much what happened the morning of and what I'm still going through. And unfortunately, you got to work with me because my mouth is literally swelling up right now, and so it's making it harder for me to talk. So. So yeah, so before I'm going like back before my accident, as a parent, anybody who knew me before can vouch for that. They can vouch how I was as a parent, as a family man, period. And that's one thing, I've always took pride of. was who I was. How my word. My word was everything to me. That's one thing I always took a lot of pride of was my word. When I said something, it was gonna get done. For some reason, it couldn't get done. It was very damn good reason, but I always made it up. And now my kids and my lady, they're affected by it because they see, they well, I'll get into it throughout the night, throughout the story, but throughout the night, when anybody wants to jump in, and you gotta excuse, I can't get too comfortable right now in one spot because I just had surgery, and so you're gonna see me moving around a lot, because they took bone graft out of my knee or my femur, put it in my other femur, but that's gonna be towards the end of my story. But going back, so I don't know how many people is on, how many people is watching, but if you have any questions for either me or my lady, feel free to ask at any time. Or you want to join in my live, feel free. We'll drop you the link for you to join. So let me take you back the night before my incident. So I had just got home. It was a Monday night, and I was excited when I got the dispatch for the next day. Oh, excuse me, sorry about that. So when I got to the dispatch for the next day, because I was a truck driver, when I got to dispatch for the next day, I was happy. I was excited because it was going to be. I already had the Tuesday. It was a Tuesday morning when my accident happened. September 18th of 2018 was when I got hit on by a drunk driver. So on September 17th, it was a Monday night, and I got my dispatch for the next day, and I was all right, cool. It was gonna be a good day. I was looking at like around, I want to say, I had. Well, either way, it was around $350, $400 day, and it was gonna be a short day. The way everything was hooked up, the way everything was planned out, everything was set in one route, and it was all pretty much, just drop. I just drop a load and go on to my next load, and I got paid by the load. So this particular day, I had 1, 2, 3. I had about 6 stops all the way going to my favorite route. Happened to be towards South San Francisco, and I love that route because I used to love going over the bridge, the one going crossing over Hayward. I forgot the name of the bridge, not the Bay Bridge. Well, I forgot the name of the bridge, but it's going like you're going towards Hayward, and you go over the bridge that way. And I just love going over the bridge and looking at the water, especially in a diesel, because you get to see everything. So I already had the day planned out. By the time I would make it back home. I was already planning to go surprising my kids, picking up my kids from school, and every time I was able to pick up my kids from school, I would surprise them, which there was no surprise. They knew once I picked them up, the routine. I would take them to get, this particular day would have been rodeo burgers and ice cream. And then we would go home, and I used to always tell them, don't say nothing to your mom. Don't tell your mom nothing. But she already knew. She wasn't dumb. But so this particular day, I went to bed happy. I was excited. Went to bed happy. Now every morning I used to wake up about 10 to 20 minutes before my alarm went off, and so September 18th, going to the morning of 4 years ago. To this day, 4 years ago, I woke up I want to say about 10 minutes before my alarm went off. It was about 3 o'clock, and I was in a good mood. My daughter, Raina, she was born on my birthday. So she used to call me her birthday boy, and I used to call her my birthday girl. And she's sneak in the bed. She's sneak in the room every night and sleep on the foot of our bed, knowing that I would wake her up and tell her, to sleep on my side of the bed. So this morning I got up, got ready. My alarm hasn't went off yet, and I woke her up when I told her I woke her up, baby girl, birthday girl. And every time she used to wake up, her smile always started with her eyes. Her eyes would light up first. And then she used to wake up, big cheesy smile from ear to ear. She was half asleep. She woke up, her eyes lit up. And I told her, baby girl, go sleep on my side of the bed. And she said, okay, my birthday boy, I love you. I told her, I love you too, baby girl. And remind you, that was the last time I ever got to see my daughter's face and her smile. So I went over to my wife's side of the bed, and I told her, babe, I'm headed to work now. And she woke up, gave me a half smile, half asleep. And she said, all right, babe, love you. I told her, I love you too, babe. And she said, be safe, as she did every morning. It was a morning routine. And I told her, always. She said, I got to say it. So I went down the hallway, got my stuff ready, went to the kitchen, got my stuff ready, and started my coffee maker, went to my truck, put my trucker's GPS in there. Even though I already knew the route, I like having it with me because, it gave me, I ran everything through Bluetooth. I never touched my phone when I was in a diesel. Never touched my phone. Everything was ran through Bluetooth. Plus, they had a video, a dash cam, and I play music through my Bluetooth, through my trucker's GPS. But I was excited. I was excited. I was headed to work. Went back inside the house, grabbed my coffee, locked up the house, went back to my pickup truck, and headed to work. Now, this particular morning, I used to always get to work about an hour early. Reason being because, for one, I like being early. For two, I had to make sure my windows was clean. I had to make sure my diesel was clean. I had to make sure my trailer was clean, but the trailer was already loaded. I had to make sure I had to do my pre-trip from truck and trailer. There's a low tire, I will air it up. There was I just had to make sure everything was right. And then after that, I had about half an hour just to kick it, play some music, stretch out, warm up, do some jumping jacks or, jog up and down the truck and trailer a little bit, get my blood flowing. But this particular morning, I didn't make it there. I didn't make it to work. I didn't make it to my yard. Now, on my way to work, I remember, for those that knows Modesto, the town where I lived off of Sunrise. And Sunrise and Badgley. So, of course, you go up Sunrise. I made a right on, forgot the name of the street. So from there, it takes me straight into Paradise. Well, on the corner of Paradise and Carpenter is a gas station. And the gas station is always packed. It was, always a real busy gas station, but it was on my right-hand side because I was coming from, is it Scenic? Yeah, I was coming from Scenic, and I remember this particular morning. It was about 4:50 a.m. Yeah, it was around 4:50 a.m. and the gas station was extra busy this morning. And I was thinking in my head, I was thinking, man, are they having a discount on gas? I remember I leaned over my truck and I looked up at the gas station at the gas prices. I was like, hell no, ain't no discount. Uh, so the turning light turned green for me to turn left onto Carpenter. So I made that left and I went up to Hatch. And, so I worked in Patterson. So that was my main way to work. But for a lot of people, it was their back ways, back road. Now I remember driving, and I remember seeing, but it was a ways. It was still a ways. I remember seeing this car in my lane, and then, but it corrected itself, and it was still a ways. So I didn't think nothing of it. I was thinking, you know what? They probably dropped their coffee. It's early in the morning. You're probably, dozing off. At that point, what I should have did was pull over and wait for them to pass me. But I didn't think nothing of it. Because there was plenty of times, I dropped my coffee and, I tried cleaning it up real fast. There's no cars coming. And I, went over to the next lane. And that's why I got me a coffee mug with the cap on it. So that's what, maybe that's what happened. In my head, that's what I was thinking. So as I got close to the car, I remember the car swerving into my lane, and I tried moving out of the way. Well, unfortunately, I didn't move out of the way fast enough, so we went head on. So let me take you from what the police report says. So on the police report, the investigation that they have shows that this car went in my lane and we went head on. The head-on collision was rated at 95 miles an hour, head on, and it forced me into my right side into the fields right there. Now, a good friend of mine still goes down this road when he goes to work, and he says the gate that I went into is still there. The opening is still there to where I guess my truck went into. Well, what I remember that morning, I remember I was telling myself I was in a bad accident. I got to save the people under the car. But first, make sure my foot's off the gas before I make the accident worse. And then, in my head, I was telling myself, turn off your truck. So during this time, I remember my son used to go with me to work sometimes. You guys excuse my talking, a lot of my words right now. My mouth's starting to feel swallowed up.
Paula says hi.
Hello. Hello, Paula.
Tino Lamino is on.
Hey, Tino, what's up? So at this time, I remember my son used to go with me to work sometimes. And I think at that time he was only like 12. He used to go with me to work. And I started panicking, because I tried to look over to see where my son was at. And I couldn't see him. So I started flipping out. Well, before that, I was thinking, okay, I got to save the people in the car. What if they had kids? And then it hit me, kids, my son. Where's my son at? And I remember I looked over to my right and I couldn't see my son. And I started flipping out. So from there, I remember hearing sirens. Now, keep in mind, to this day, every time I hear sirens now, I have gives me flashbacks of 4 years ago, the morning of my accident, or I say incident, the morning of the incident, and so next thing you know, the last thing I remember was being in the ambulance, and the ambulance, I heard the EMT saying, "You're going to be okay. We're on the way to the hospital." Well, come to find out, it took fire department 45 minutes for the jaws of life to get me out of my pickup truck. And I found out later on that they had to revive me 3 different times. So I died 3 times that morning. And I lived. Obviously, I'm here talking to you guys. But I died 3 times. Now, from here, I'll tell you guys, so, I don't remember much. I remember hearing my wife's voice when I heard the EMT tell me that we were on the way to the hospital. I remember hearing my wife's voice tell me, "Babe, it's me, okay. They're taking you to the hospital. Just let them do your job." And I remember, okay, babe, okay. But, I remember, I want to jump up a little bit, waking up. I remember waking up in my hospital bed, and I was hearing the doctor tell, I remember hearing my kids crying. I remember hearing my wife crying. Excuse me. I remember hearing the doctor and telling my wife and my kids to take me off the machine, that I had no chance of living. I guess he had just ran some tests. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but he was usually seeing, everything I just did. We're getting no response. He's not going to live. Start thinking about taking him off the machine. Well, come to find out, they were telling my wife and my kids this for a while. That wasn't the first time. I just happened to wake up hearing this. And I remember when I woke up, I heard my kids crying, heard my wife crying. I was thinking, is he talking about me? What the hell's going on? My whole body felt paralyzed. So I was like, oh, hell no. I forced myself to sit up. When I sat up, I remember hearing like everybody gasping, like everybody took a deep breath, like, oh shit. And I remember hearing the nurse saying, I forgot the name of the doctor's name. Oh, doctor, look. And I remember him turning around and lay him back down. And they laid me down and well, I can't tell you if it was 2 minutes later, 2 hours later. Come to find out, it was 2 days later. I remember waking up to almost listening to the same thing. My kids were crying, my wife was crying, and the same voice, same doctor was telling my wife, he's not going to have no brain memory. With all the brain damage he took and the brain bleed that he has, there's a 98% chance he's not going to have no brain. He's not going to remember you, let alone his own kids. So that time I was pissed off. Why are you lying to my kids for? Why are you lying to my wife for? So I put my hand up. I wanted something the right way because I had a trait down my throat, so I couldn't speak, and my arm and everything was tied down. So I remember hearing the nurse saying, "What? He's asking for something. He's asking to write something." And they gave me a marker and a paper. And originally what I wanted to write, "You're full of shit." I remember everything. But at this time, I know it's a little, how you say, TMI, but I'm telling the story how it is. I had to go to the bathroom hella bad, and my kids was in there.
Don't forget to take out your trash cans.
Alexa, shut up. My kids was in there. The doctors was in there. I wanted them to get the hell out of the room because I had to take a shit. So I put down there. I felt my thumb. I put down there. Need to take a shit. And so, we skip the rest of that part. But so going back a little bit, I let my wife, well, you feel like telling the part from that point from before the sheriff showed up, or you want me to tell it? The morning of how the sheriff pulled up, and want me to tell it?
I mean, I guess I can.
Well, I can tell it. You're not over for it.
Tino Lamino, Tino, no, we're not. He's not doing any oldies tonight. He's telling his story about his accident or the day he got hit by a drunk driver.
Yeah, today makes 4 years, so
don't be shy. It's not that I'm shy. It's just that it's a touchy subject, for not just me, but for my kids, so it's hard. Even after 4 years, it's hard to talk about, I mean, you see your loved one all broken in pieces almost. And, it's hard to relive it again. And on top of that, we have to take care of what she left us with, I don't know. The morning of the accident, my routine was, I was the housewife. I took my kids to school. I came home, did some stuff around the house, waited for, Manuel to get home. So it was just a normal day. He left that morning, I got my kids up. I went to, got my kids ready, took them to school. I came home. It was around, I want to say almost 9 o'clock in the morning. And, just like any other day, I got home and I wanted my coffee, and I made my coffee and I opened up my blinds. I remember even calling him, because usually he would call and tell the kids, have a good day, see you later, that kind of thing, before I dropped them off, and there was no phone call. So I assumed that maybe, it wasn't uncommon for him not to call. So I thought maybe it was just he had to pick up a big load. He was in a warehouse. Sometimes he didn't have reception. So I did remember calling him, and it went straight to voicemail. And I remember leaving him a message saying, oh, you're probably stuck at a warehouse, give me a call. When you get this, I love you. And I remember hanging up the phone, and no sooner did I hang up the phone, there was 2 sheriffs that pulled up to my home in front of my house. And again, that was not uncommon where we were living at. We lived across the street from a park. So, Manuel had a bunch of cameras up, because he was on the road a lot. And so it was convenient for me to have the cameras and stuff. So there was a couple times officers came to my door and asked if we can look at the cameras so that they can investigate what was going on at the park. So, it wasn't something that I was immediately shocked of why they were there. I remember walking out on the porch and saying, good morning. How are you? And I don't know if they were rookie cops, or this is not the first time that they had to come and give family news. I don't know what that was, but I do remember them both looking at me and then looking down at the ground. And instantly I had that feeling like something's wrong. I asked them, if they needed something. They asked me if I knew Emmanuel Russ, and my heart instantly dropped. You see those things on TV, you see them on movies, and your heart, you gasp like, oh my God, what would I do in that situation? Well, it's nothing like the movies. Like, I literally froze. They asked me if I knew him. I told them yes, that was my husband. One of the officers looked at the other one and then looked back at me and said, ma'am, your husband was involved in a head-on collision this morning at 4:50 in the morning. He was transported to Memorial Hospital, and you need to get down there right away. Now, mind you, it was 9 o'clock in the morning. He got hit at almost 5 o'clock in the morning. So my thought, and I asked him, is he alive? Can you tell me, is he alive? And the officer said, ma'am, I can't tell you anything. You need to get down to the hospital. So, your first thought is bad. Your first thought is, this has to be bad. If the cop is not telling you that he's dead and he's not telling you that he's alive, and, it takes your breath away. And I remember being frozen. Like I couldn't move. And then I remember running into my home, and a friend of ours was there that morning. And I remember running into my daughter's room, my oldest daughter, because she was the only one home. And I feel bad now, but I ran in there and I kicked her because she's a hard person to wake up. And I kicked her. I literally kicked her and told her that she needed to get up, that her dad got hit and he's at the hospital. And so we both went down to the hospital. And at that time, we lived maybe 2 minutes from Memorial Hospital. Got to Memorial Hospital, you go up to the information desk and you ask them what's going on. And their response was, ma'am, they're working on him. Somebody will be out to talk to you soon. And, as a parent, you think, shit, should I call my kids? Should I pick up my kids? Should I call his mother? Should I call? I was so all over the place that my only thought was to know that he was okay. And the more that they kept stalling, I needed answers. And the only other person I could think of was his boss. So I immediately called his boss and I asked his boss, what happened? Tell me what happened. And his boss says, Kim, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? And I said, Manuel was in an accident. Tell me what happened. And he goes, hold on. And he put me on hold. And then he got back on the phone and he says, Kim, he goes, he never made it to work. And at that moment, because the whole time I'm standing there waiting for somebody to talk to me, to tell me something, he left at 4 o'clock in the morning. I thought, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. My first thought when I got to the hospital was, shit, did he kill somebody? Oh my God, did he kill somebody? Because that was the first thing I thought of. He had to have been in his diesel. At 9 o'clock in the morning, he had to have been in his diesel. Oh my God, he killed somebody. And then when his boss told me, Kim, he never made it to work, I instantly almost dropped my phone. And I was the most scared. I didn't know how to handle. I didn't know how to deal. I didn't know whether to, again, call my children, because they were all at school except for my two oldest. So the first thing I did was call my oldest son and tell my oldest son that he needed to get to the hospital because his dad was in an accident. I didn't get my kids out of school right away because I didn't know what was wrong with their dad. I didn't know if it was a minor injury. I didn't know if maybe he just broke his leg. I didn't know nothing, and I didn't want to scare my children more than I was already scared. So it was a while. I say by the time somebody actually came out and talked to me, it was maybe an hour had went by. And by that time, I don't know specifically. I get little glimpses here and there because I kind of like, I don't know if it was protecting myself, but there's pieces of that morning that I can't remember, but somebody had showed me the post from, let me see, a post from, I think it was Instagram, and it said that it was just a normal Instagram post. They post accidents, they post updates and robberies, all that kind of stuff. San Jose County Fire. And I remember them looking at it, and they were telling me, Kim, look, is this his truck? And I remember looking at that truck and thinking, this is serious. I don't even know how he even got out of the car. I don't know how they got him out of the car. I'm trying to see if I could show you guys the car real quick. But I don't know. I can't find it. But I remember seeing that truck on Instagram, and it was bad. I don't know if any of you have gone on Emmanuel's site and actually seen let's see. Give me a second, guys. I'm sorry.
I remind you, I was in my pickup truck was a '94 Chevy pickup, and to be honest, if I was in a Ford, I wouldn't have made it.
I could have swore. Put him in here. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can see this screen. That was manual before. Sexy. These are some pictures of him. Was it? No, I don't think so. That's his truck there. It took, from what they told me, it took 45 minutes for them to take him out of his vehicle.
With the jaws of life.
So yeah. But so finally, when they finally came, it was about 2 hours after. I remember because I had already told my oldest to go get my kids. My kids were already there, on their way actually. And they came out and asked me if I wanted to see him, that he needed to be rushed to emergency surgery. And I needed to give consent. So, being a nurse, I'm not shy when it comes to blood. I don't shy away. I don't think it's gross. But, they asked me, you have to prepare yourself, because my daughter was with me, my oldest daughter, and they asked us to prepare ourselves because he was really bad. Like I said, I'm not shy when it comes to blood or seeing things like that. But when you see somebody you love and have spent at that time 24 years of your life and 9 children, you you look at it a different way. When I walked in that room, there was blood all over the place. So they had been working on him for a while. His head was swollen because he had broken the back of his skull. So his whole head was swollen. His face, you couldn't tell where you only seen the slit of his eyes, the holes from his nose, and the line of his mouth. All of this was bruised. His eyes were swollen really bad. He already had a breathing tube in his throat. His left side was all bloody, and from his shoulder down, you can tell his whole shoulder was pushed in, like dented, like there was nothing there. It was just flesh. His femur was open, and I did see that. They still had the wrapping and the stabilization from the EMTs. His foot was barely hanging on. I think I might be able to show you guys his foot. So, that's his foot there. That's already is already healing, but you can see where it literally tore the whole back of the foot off. So they had that all wrapped up, but it was bleeding a lot. So at that point, I let him know that I was there and that he was going to be okay, and they were going to take him up to surgery, and he was going to be okay, that we were here and that he needed to be okay. And they instantly shut me up because he was trying to talk. He was trying to acknowledge I was there. And so they asked me to sign some consent forms, and asked me to leave because they had to take him up to surgery. Like I said, this isn't something, people, I even hear it from my children's school. It's kind of one of those, it's been 4 years. So, why is it still an issue? Why is it still, why is it still so traumatic? When my kids have a bad day or they can't deal at school, they want to come home, or like today, September is a shitty month for all of us. And then some people just don't understand, that we just didn't live that one day, with Manuel being blind and multiple surgeries we still have to sit through. And this is an everyday, 365 days a year trauma that this girl put us through. And I say this girl because for 4 years, we've always just said the girl that hit him, the girl that hit him, the girl that hit him, this incident, the drunk driver that hit him. No, I'm tired of keeping my mouth shut. Her name is Cheristina. She is now probably 28 years old, 4 years later. And she has no remorse. To this day, she has no remorse. "24 years old, 3 times the legal limit to drive, under the influence of cocaine and marijuana on a Tuesday." Me and my children will never forget that name, what she did, what her and her family put us through, the 2 years we were going through with court. But, it's hard. It's hard to talk about. It's hard to relive. But we all support my husband, you know, with this YouTube and his music. And we're not saying it's easy, it's hard, but you know, we got dealt a shitty hand, and we have to remember that we have a lot of blessings that we still have. You know, my husband's still here. He's still with us. You know, we struggle now, but we're all healthy and we're together. So
Now, I know the way she's, described it before. Um, when she seen me in the hospital before they took me to the emergency surgery, uh, I guess my eyes were sticking out of my head like golf balls, and I was bleeding I had blood coming out of my eyes, blood coming out of my ears, my nose. I guess I was trying to talk to her when they told her she had to leave, and I was gargling blood trying to talk to her. And so the way the hospital explained it to me, my whole left side was sticking out of my body. My bones were snapped out of my shoulder, my forearm, my femur was out of my leg, and so I was in a coma. I was in a coma. And doctors even said, nobody, not even the people in the suits, that I thought I was going to live. There was no faith. And now that I speak at the high schools, the main officer that was there, for one, was surprised, but I guess they get a report back from the hospital, and the report said that patient's not going to survive. And he said, that was rare. That's real rare to get a report back from the hospital like that. It's either patients in critical condition, or patients is going to survive. But this report said patient's not going to survive. I guess that report has to do with how they're going to press charges, something like that. I'm not too sure. I don't remember exactly. But so taking it back, I had a brain bleed in a part of my brain that was non-surgical. And to this day, I still have a lot of brain swollenness. And that brings me back to when I was waking up in the hospital, and I was listening to the doctor listen to my kids and my wife crying, and listening to the doctor tell my wife and my kids that I'm not going to live to take me off the machine. And then I remember I forced my body to move. I forced my body to sit up, and everybody flipped out. They pretty much medicated me, and I woke up like 2 days later listening to the same thing. My kids crying, my wife crying. They're telling them that I'm not going to have no brain memory. I'm always going to remember my wife, let alone my own kids. And and that's where I asked for the something to write with and all that. Well, I remember writing. I remember they were tripping out that I still knew how to spell, even though I wasn't that good of a speller before. But the nurse and the doctor was tripping out that I was spelling. I still knew how to spell shit. But it's just I remember when see, my mind goes like 1,000 miles an hour. I always had that, where I have like 1,000 things going in my head. So I try to try and stay at one story. I'm trying not to jump ahead of myself. But I remember my wife was telling me the story of what was going on, what happened. And at this point, I remember laying in bed, and I was like, in my head, I was thinking to myself, fuck it. It is what it is. I can't change it. So might as well fight to live. Fight for my kids, fight for my wife. I'm here. I'm blessed to be here and make the best of what I do got. So I accepted it from the jump. I accepted it the second I started hearing exactly what was going on. I accepted it. I was, what? I'm here. I live for a reason. I'm here. I got a purpose here on earth still. And I'm pretty sure a big part of my purpose is to be here for my kids and for my wife, to be here strong. And so at this point, I was telling them, you know what? I got to get my story out there. And I got to raise awareness of drinking and driving. I got to talk to the kids. I got to talk to high school kids. I got to get a hold of who I got to talk to for the if I can talk to the high schools, if I can talk to the DUI classes, if I can talk to any events and trying to help save lives. And they did just that for me, and it took a big toll. So, and they were doing all that when I was still when I was still touch and go, pretty much at that time. I was still touch and go. And I remember I was pissed off at the doctor that and they had, so my mouth, healed, my inside of my gums still swollen. They had to reconstruct my whole face. They're still talking about another reconstruction of my face, but I don't think I'm going to do it. But they had to wire my mouth shut. I don't know for how long my mouth was wired shut. But after I was in recovery, after I came out of my coma, I remember the doctor coming in, and after they cut, I don't want to say open my mouth back up, but unwiring my mouth shut. I don't know how to say it. We asked them, when I'm gonna get the stitches out, and the doctor straight up said, that's outpatient. Honestly, I don't think that doctor. They didn't think I was gonna live, so I don't think he was planning on taking out, because he kind of tripped out when I showed up at his office saying, "Hey, you know what? Take my stitches out of my gums," and he had to dig in through my gums to get my stitches out. But so my gums on the inside still feel swollen. So my right side, when I do this on my right side, it feels numb, like tingling, because my right cheekbone, it healed, but it healed. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know if it healed side by side or healed on top of each. Well, they fixed it, but I guess it still collapsed and it healed broken. The inside of my nose is still broken, so that messed up my drainage tube. So a lot of times when I'm live, I'm talking, you hear me clearing my throat a lot. It's not because I'm sick or nothing like that, because the way it drains, I always gotta clear my throat. And so like right now, I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I just recently had a reverse shoulder replacement, and this last Monday, my femur healed, but it healed with gaps in it. So I had needed another surgery, and they took out bone marrow out of my good femur to fill up the gaps that's in my bad femur. So, well, I know I'm jumping the gun a lot right now. So taking you back to the hospital, and when I started doing better, they took me to this room on recovery, and this where it's also a touchy subject, because I happened to catch MRSA in my lungs. Now, the room I was in happened to be the room that my mother-in-law passed away in, and she happened to catch MRSA on her lungs, and that was after she had surgery, and she wound up passing away because of MRSA in her lungs. I happened to be in the same room, and I just happened to catch MRSA in my lungs. But as soon as I heard it, I started coughing, and I started, I fought through it. But now this part of the story, when I was in the hospital, I have to say, it's just I have to throw this out there. I've never lost my sense of humor, and I have to throw it out there. And I don't know why right now it's gonna be like, really, Manuel? But so when I was under all this medication and stuff, they wanted to put in a plate or a tube, something in my chest. They had a trach down my throat, and so for me to take my pills, they put something in my chest, and they were giving me my pills through my chest.
Stomach.
My stomach, yeah, that too.
No, it was your stomach.
Oh, in my stomach. And so they were giving me Xanax, which I'm no longer on. I refuse to take that. But the very first time they gave me Xanax, I remember waking up, and it must have been a dream, but it was a great dream.
Oh my God.
So I remember waking up, and I told my wife, I was like, "Hey, babe, are there cameras in this room?" And because she stayed at night in there, she was sleeping in the little recliner they gave her. She never left my bedside. And she was like, "No, why? Are you sure? Look around. Are there cameras?" She's like, "No." She goes, "Why?" I go, "Because the nurse came in last night.
She didn't give you head.
She gave me a blowjob."
No, she didn't.
And she started laughing. She goes, "Oh my God."
He was hallucinating.
Yeah, it was a great hallucination, I'll tell you that.
The dose they had him on, he was hallucinating.
Hey, but I had to throw that out there. I had to just let you guys know that. It's a true story. It really happened. So getting back to, the real story. Well, that was the real story. But during this time, this is how, I know as a fact it was a hallucination, because I was hallucinating that I was back in Stockton. They had me on a hospital bed. They had me underneath the bridge with all the homeless people. And she had went to take my girls to practice, because my girls wanted to quit. My son wanted to quit football. My girls wanted to quit dancing. And I didn't allow that. I didn't allow them to. And I told them straight up, go. It's something you're passionate about. If I didn't make it, I would still be there regardless. Don't quit because of where I'm at. I want you to go and keep pushing to do what you love. So she had took him to practice, and she came right back, and she would go back, pick him up, come back. Well, during the time she was gone, I remember I kept asking where she was at. Well, in my head, they took me to Stockton, underneath the bridge, to where all the homeless people were at. And they had a bunch of cops there, security. And I was thinking, it's fucked up. She let me underneath the bridge in Stockton with these nurses that don't give a shit. And so she came back. I was pissed off. And I remember the nurse saying, actually, I don't remember. I remember a nurse saying something to her, and she ended up crying because she's,
No, it wasn't the nurse. It was Well, it was our oldest son. He was visiting with his dad, and I had just like maybe 20 minutes before I told him I need to go smoke a cigarette. I'll be back. And he goes, okay, I'm just gonna sit here with dad. So he was sitting there talking to his dad, and Manuel was writing, and I come back in the room and I said, I'm back. And he's literally put, it's about fucking time you got here. You left me here and forgot about me. And my son was telling him, no, Dad, she's been here this whole time. No, she hasn't. Like, he literally thought that I left him under a bridge with some tweaker nurses. I have no idea. And it hurt my feelings. I'm not going to lie. It hurt my feelings because, I thought that, and that at that time he had been in the hospital already a week. About 2 weeks already.
After he came out of coma.
After he came out of his coma. So,
So my first hallucination was way better. I promise you that.
Yeah, tell them how I felt so special that you wanted to see me, but just to your foot.
Yeah, so the time, when I was in the hospital, so my daughter Mariah, every night she, massage my feet, massage my back, and so I remember I was like, oh, you know what? A foot massage would feel good. And to this day, she'll laugh about it. But I remember I called out, send Mariah in the room. They sent her in the room. She said, I felt so special because, my dad wants to see me. No, I just want her to massage my foot. But anyways, during this, recovery time, I was hallucinating because of this Xanax they had me on. And they sent me home with it, but I only had like 2-3 hallucinations off of it. Then my body got immune to it and it didn't do shit for me. But regardless, I'm not one that's big on pills at all. Never been big on pills. So, skipping through all the hospital stuff, because I can tell you this story can last forever. So let's skip through when I got out of the hospital. They sent me to recovery. Well, before they sent me to recovery, one of the doctors came, and I was pissed off at the doctors because I heard the doctors telling making my wife and kids cry, taking him off the machine. He's not going to live. There's no chance for him to make it. It's impossible for him to make it. He's not. Then after I did make it, he's not going to have no memory. All his brain damage he took, his brain bleed. He's not going to remember you guys. So I'm pissed off. So I remember them coming in and doctor asking me, Manuel, well, his accent sounded like Count Dracula. Manuel.
he did.
Tell me, how many fingers? Doctors always put up 3 fingers first. How many fingers I got up? And I was pissed off. I lied. So I guessed. I looked out. I remember squinting my eyes, acting like I could see them. 3. Well, that's a good sign. So he told me, they always start with the right finger. They always do this, up, down. Then they do with the left, up, down. So he told me to follow his fingers. And I already knew the routine. So, okay. So I went like this, told me not to move my head. I went to my right, follow up, down like this, because I already knew the routine. So, which sucks now because that gave my family false hope that I still have my eyesight.
You gave us false hope. You were telling them that you were looking at fingers that wasn't even there.
So going to recovery, there was one. Well,
Thank you, Paula.
Back at the hospital. No, you know what? Back at recovery, okay. When they sent me to recovery, after I got out of the hospital, they sent me straight to recovery, and there was one. There was one physical therapy that had my back. She, the nurses there, we told them, I only got one leg, well, one moving leg at the time, but that was blind. So what they would do is they would come in, leave my tray by the door, and not tell me nothing. So I told the therapist, when the therapist would come in, the physical therapist, or my wife would come back, I'd be like, "You haven't eaten yet?" They left the food at the door. I was like, "No." So by the time I got my food, it was cold. So we told the lady, the physical therapist, exactly what was going on, and she got pissed off. She went down in the kitchen. She told all the nurses, and they kept doing it. And then so there was one nurse there that came, and so the doctor said, "You know what? They can take the box out, whatever it was they had in my stomach. They can take it out. If I start taking my pills, how would I say manually, like that? Well, you know what I'm trying to say. If I can take my pills normally, and it was hella hurting my where they excluded into." So he had sent the order in to go ahead and get it out. So 2 days went by, and they still didn't take it out, and I can feel it. It was hurting. So I was telling one of the nurses, "Hey, the doctor ordered it to get taken out," and she was arguing with me, being hella rude. I mean, like rude. So what she wound up doing, no warning, no nothing. She called 911 for them to come and pick me up to take me to the emergency room because I was requesting to go to the emergency room. I never requested to go to the emergency room. So no warning, nothing. The EMTs came to pick me up and said, "Are you ready?" I was like, "For what?" "Oh, well, we got told that you want to go to the emergency room." I said, "I never asked to go to the emergency room." So they took me down to the emergency room, and yeah, it was a big deal. Well, the other nurses later on that night asked for the nurse's name. I gave her the name. They said, "Yeah, that particular nurse was new, and she was in training, and she was the one training them, but she had requests for her to be off her shift, let the other shift trainer, because she was one, very unprofessional, very uncooperative, and she wasn't teachable." Well, it was unfortunate. She just happened to be the one that was sent me to the emergency room. So we got a hold of the HR lady, whoever was in charge, made a complaint about her. So she was no longer able to be a part of my staff, my nursing staff, taking care of me, whatever. And so the whole time I was there, they changed, without my permission, they changed my whole medical insurance around. They took me off of my medical plan. They changed everything around without my permission. So when I got sent home, like I said, during that whole recovery place, I want to say there's only two people there that was cool. The one that was one of the people that was bandaging up my foot, and that physical therapy lady that was working with me. One of the ladies came in, and she literally picked up my toe, and she's being hella rough with my foot. And remind you, my foot was barely being hanging on, and she's throwing my leg around like nothing. So I told her, you know what? Don't fucking touch me. Anybody's gonna clean my foot, it's gonna be my wife. Well, she's not licensed to do that. I don't give a fuck. You're not touching my foot. Don't touch me. So I started hitting the button. I told the lady, the nurse came in, I don't want her touching me. Well, sir, your foot has to be clean. Well, she's not touching it. Well, she's the only one that's here. There's one other Mexican lady that was real good with what she did. It was either her or my wife that was able to do it. And the other physical lady, therapist. But out of the whole place, that whole place was rude. Very unkind, unprofessional. They changed my whole insurance plan without my permission. So I say about 2 weeks after we left, because honestly, we were going to go after them. With the way they treated me, the way they kept just leaving my food at the door and not telling me my food was there. The way, for example, there's one night, and this part was not a joke. This wasn't me hallucinating. There's one night, I had to use the restroom, and obviously, I couldn't get up. My wife was sleeping next to me. I hit the button because I didn't want to wake her up. I hit the button. The nurse came in, and I asked, "Can I get?" And this is embarrassing for me to even say. But I asked, "Can I get the urinal? Because I have to go to the restroom." And the lady said, "Yeah, I'll get it for you." She gave it to me. Well, this lady trying to reach up and grab it. And I remember I felt her hand. I slapped her hand away a couple times. I said, "No, I can do it. I don't need your help." She goes, "No, let me grab it." Pretty much, she flat out said, "Let me grab it. Let me help you." No, and I slapped her hand away again. "No, I'll do it. No, I want to help you." And finally, I got pissed off. Babe, wake up. Babe. And she kept fighting with me to go grab my junk. Finally, she started waking up. "What's going on?" Boom. She took off. The lady disappeared. And I told her, "This fucking bitch right here trying to grab my shit," when I told her I can do it by myself. She goes, "Who?" And she was hiding behind a door. That nurse right here, I don't know whoever she was, whoever my nurse is tonight. And so that place was just, so 2 weeks later after I came home, they changed the name of the company. They changed the name of the same place, it was a new place over here in Modesto. It was a new place, but they changed the name of the whole company, whole different name. I wonder why. I'm pretty sure they probably were getting sued by some other people that was there. So after I came home, I had going to my doctor's appointment. They ordered me a ramp, and there was a confusion with the insurance. And this is how I found out they changed my whole insurance around. So my wife had to go fix all of that, get my original insurance. And so during this time, we were waiting for a ramp because there was a big step in front of the house we were at. And so the landlord we had was a slumlord. He didn't want to fix something in the house. So my wife had contacted him and said, "Hey, I was in the hospital. They didn't know if I was going to live or die." And he didn't give a shit. He wanted his rent. So during that time, he was suing us. He was kicking us out. I made it home. And luckily, Social Security put a jump on everything. And I was going to get my first check within the couple of weeks with some back pay to it. And we told him that we'll have your rent if you give us a couple of weeks. No. He didn't want it. Um, he was going to take us to court. He wanted us out the house, plain and simple, no ifs, what's, buts about it. So he took us to court and he succeeded, which we were going to move out anyways. But unfortunately, we had nowhere to go. And so, we stayed in our suburban. The county wouldn't help us because with my Social Security, I was making like $1 over unearned income. Now, luckily, my sister-in-law took us in, and I'm grateful for her taking us in, and she's a beautiful lady, but her let's just say her husband many years when she wasn't around didn't want us there and made it clear he didn't want us there. I'll just leave it at that. He made it clear he didn't want us there. He gave us the time limit. The whole time my wife was 24/7 looking for a new place. So the time came up, and I remember she was crying. She goes, "I'm so sorry. I wish you guys didn't have to go." And but we understood. We understood. It wasn't. But luckily, our cousin, my wife's side, her cousins took us in, and I'm not gonna lie, we were so much happier there, even though we were in the living room. She didn't have much room in our house, their house. They didn't have much room, but we didn't hear the remarks that were being told to us. Either way, we're grateful that my sister-in-law took us in. It just when she wasn't home, flat out, plain and simple, we weren't welcome. And those remarks weren't being there. And, we were a lot happier. And we found this place not too long after. And this place actually took a chance on us because they gave us a couple months of affordable rent, knowing that my Social Security didn't cover the rent here, or Social Security disability, or disability Social Security. I don't know, the SSDI, SSID, until we got the IHSS going, and then my wife found a job. So that's how we got in here. Now, luckily, we we made it. We made it. We're here, and I was like, there's something I got to do. I can't depend on my Social Security because it's not going to put food on the table. And so you know what? That's when I started teaching myself how to DJ. A good friend of mine started teaching me what to listen to. And another friend of mine told me how to make it sound better when I'm blending into the next song. Another friend of mine's, which is no longer here, there's a lot he was going to teach me. But I recorded him years back. I learned a lot just off the music that I recorded him doing. And, my kids made my YouTube channel. And it's my way to try to help out. But so taking you back, so my kids, right? I want to take it back a little bit more. As like I said in the beginning, I was one that was upfront. I was an upfront father. My job didn't like it. I would quit, plain and simple, or they're gonna have to fire me. I was gonna be at my kids' event no matter what. Um, so during the time of my incident, I had a kid I had my daughter. She was a fifth grader, fourth grader, fifth grader, right now.
I'm talking about
During the time of my accident.
Fourth grader.
She was fourth grade at the time.
I was 7.
I had a seventh grader, an eighth grader, and 2 in high school.
Oh,
Fifth grade.
she was in 5th.
Fifth grade. Yeah, fifth grade.
Okay, so I had 1 in middle school, 2 in junior high, and then 2 in high school.
Middle school, junior high, something.
No, high school.
Yeah, junior high, middle school, something. You mean elementary?
Just
I had a fifth grader, a seventh grader, eighth grader, and 2 in high school. Turn the getting hot. And so some years back before, I'm going to bring this up only because I want to explain why we got sent to SARB. So my daughter that graduated the following year of when she was in 8th grade, her vice principal, she was trying to get, so I already knew the whole story. And this particular principal, she happened to be principal for my daughter's 5th grade school. At the time, so a couple years before that, she was a vice principal at Glick Middle School. And she had made an appointment. She had made appointment to meet up with us, and my wife had an appointment already. So I took the day off school to meet with this vice principal. Now, when I walked in, she walks out, and she goes, "Oh, hey," she took me to the back to her office. Now, I didn't catch on. I was the one that never caught on. My wife kind of broke it down after I got home. I told her what happened. She locked the door. She goes, "Here." So she gave me a chair, but she put it sideways. She grabbed her chair. She put it right in front of me, and she kept rubbing my leg, rubbing my chest, and she lifted up her dress all the way up to her thigh. And she started talking. She goes, "Before we talk about your daughter, I want to get to know you first. You get to know me first a little bit." And so I didn't think nothing of it. I was thinking, okay, whatever. But she put my hand on her knee as she put her hand on my knee. At this point, I was saying, "You know what? Fuck!" I grabbed her wrist, took it off my knee. I said, "You know what? I didn't come to meet you to know who you are or to tell you who I am. I came to talk about my daughter, plain and simple." So she kind of got pissed off, like, got up, sat on her side of the desk. She goes, "Well, what's going on is she took this book, she ripped out the pages, and she marked it." I go, "What proof do you have that she did this?" Which I already know it wasn't my daughter. I know exactly who it was, but I wasn't saying all that. She goes, "Well, we have it on recording." I go, "Well, show me the recording. I want proofs." "Well, I don't have to show you recording." "Yeah, you do. By law, if you're going to charge my daughter for something, I want proofs." "Well, I'm just going to give her a warning." I go, "Warning, bullshit." So anyways, she happened to be the principal on my daughter's school she was going to. She was her 5th grade year. So during the time of my accident, all the schools were working with my kids. They knew I was in the hospital. They knew they gave them, they worked with them with independent studies, home studies. But it goes, "Get them out of here." They all the schools was working with my kids, knowing that I was in a coma. Wife told him that I wasn't expected to live. All the schools except for get him out of here. All the schools except for my daughter Raina's school. Just so happened was the principal that I didn't fall for her bullshit. She turned us into star. She told my wife, "There's nothing we can do. There's nothing I can do to help you. She has to be in school." And my wife tried to explain to her this was going on with her dad. The other schools are working with us. No, she has to be in school. She turned us into star. Now, when I came home from the hospital, I had a brain doctor's appointment. We got a letter from SARB saying we had a meeting with SARB. And there's no ifs, buts about it. They didn't give us no number to contact them, nothing. We just had to show up this meeting, and we didn't show up, that we have to pay the consequences. And that both me and my wife had to attend. Now, if I was in the hospital, what would have happened? So I had to reschedule my brain doctor's appointment, and I had to go to this meeting. Now, in this meeting, all the teachers were there, plus this principal. And she was there with a smirk. She had a smirk on her face. From my understanding, my kids said that she had a big old smile on her face. She was happy to be there. The other teachers that was there didn't agree with the SARB officer because she shut me up. I tried telling her I had a brain doctor's appointment. This is the reason why the kids weren't there. She kept shutting me up. She didn't want to hear it. She laid down the law. The kid's supposed to be in school. I don't care. That's your guys' problem. They need to be in school. They need to be learning. There's no ifs, buts about it. And my kids got put on probation. So my kids got in trouble. They got put on probation. And so it was an ugly meeting. So after the meeting, all the teachers came out and the other principals to other schools. And they all started giving us cards to lawyers to fight against the district. And I was like, you know what, forget that. I'm just going to put them on home studies, all of them. I'm going to pull them out. My cousin gave me this on this state program. They'll send a laptop for this year just to prove a point. But during the time, and my kids they were being punished. They didn't qualify for during play football. They didn't qualify for cheer because they didn't have the grades from the quarter before. Well, the quarter before, I was in the hospital. There should be some kind of play with the school where, if the kids are sitting there fucking off, they're in school, just not doing their homework. Yeah, they don't have the credits, to do the extra activities. But in my situation, it was nothing like that. My kids were getting A's and B's. They were going to school every day. But she was throwing in the fact that they weren't in school. So, that was an ugly meeting. So the following quarter, COVID hit. Once COVID hit, their system was failing our kids. My kids was trying their hardest to learn from this laptop that kept shutting off on them. That wasn't logging in half the time. That wasn't. There's so many kids that the COVID, that the schools, distant learning failed. And so to this day, they're getting punished for it. And, it just sucks all the way around. They're finally, since my accident, they're finally barely starting to get on track. But to this day, they're getting punished for it because from my accident straight to COVID, and on top of seeing me like this every day. Now, one of my older daughter has, so 2 of my kids graduated high school since then. And it hurt them that I couldn't see them walk the stage. And it hurt me that I couldn't see them walk the stage. But I was there. I was there and I was sharing their way. 2 of my kids graduated the 8th grade. And they were hurt that I couldn't see them. But at the same time, you know, it hurts me that I can't see them. 3 of my kids actually graduated. My daughter Rena just graduated the 8th grade. Now she's in a freshman in high school. And I got, you know, my grandkids, you know, playing sports, cheering. And, you know, it sucks, you know, I can't, you know, I'm missing out on a lot of things. And, you know, one thing I have to say, so during all this, I mean, there's a lot, and there's a lot I'm passing up. You know, I'm trying to make this live to go as fast as possible. So there's a lot of things I'm skipping, a lot of things, main things that, you know, I'm completely passing up. But
Josh is on.
Huh?
Josh is on.
What's up, Josh?
So is B.
What's up, B? So
You can ask if they have any questions.
if you guys have any questions, please, if you want to join my link, join my live, Ken will drop the link before you can join my live.
If you guys have any questions, just you know, put it in the comment, and I will either me or Manuel could answer that.
So I forgot where I was at. What was I saying?
You're talking about the grandbabies.
Yeah, so, you know, there's a lot I'm missing out on now. And then, you know, so since then, since my accident, for exception of a good couple handfuls of friends. For example, today, as a matter of fact, today, I got asked, you know, how I was doing from B. You know, B's on. Josh asked me. Rojas hit me up and asked me how I was doing today. Of course, you know, my kids, my sister hit me up today, but that was it. You know, literally, you know, that was it.
You'd be surprised when something traumatic happens. You know, you think that, you know, you have a wide variety of friends.
Alonzo hit me up too today.
My husband was one that you called him and he was in the car before he could say yes. I used to have people packed at my house every other weekend for a barbecue, or Emmanuel would come home and say, hey, somebody's having a barbecue. You know, I'm not going to mention any names, but so-and-so's having a barbecue. We should go and drink and, you know, kick back or whatever. After his accident, the initial shock of their friend getting hit on by a drunk driver and everything, you know, yeah, I mean, the whole waiting room was, you know, packed where, you know, you couldn't sit down. I appreciate everybody that was there at that time. It's just sad when something tragic happens. You would think that your friends would still be there. You would think that your friends would still check on you and say, how are you doing? Or, hey, you know, we're having a get together. We're doing this or that. Me being the one that can see, me being the one that is noticing, I can tell you at least 75% of those people that were sitting there crying and wondering if he was going to come out of the coma or if everything was okay. I haven't heard from him for 4 years. Like he said, there's maybe a handful of his friends that were there before the accident that still come around or talk to him. I should say talk to him. You know, there's still, you know, now I don't know if it's because he's blind, you know, and disabled and he needs help to get from point A to point B, but there's no more inviting to barbecues. There's no more inviting to, you know, this or that get together. Nothing. No parties, no weddings, nothing. And as the person that's on the other side of this, that's that cares for him and loves him, it hurts. It hurts me because it's like, I know for a fact that he would have been there regardless of disabled or not, regardless of blind or not, and a lot of people just tend to move on with their lives, and that's okay. Life goes on, but at the same time, it's hard to imagine that the friends that you thought were so close just totally forgot that you existed. He might as well have died for that matter. And I know that a lot of the friends he does talk to, the ones that are been true through this whole 4 years, I appreciate you all. You guys know who you are, and I don't have to call you out, or I don't have to. You guys know who you are. The ones that come over to my house and still check on him and still will have a conversation as if he's still looking back at you. For those, I gave you the most up respect. But the ones that were at my house every weekend, the ones that were drinking and partying and showing up to my house and whatever, the ones that don't come around, honestly, at this point, after 4 years, you know what? Pretend he did die, because showing up now is only going to piss me off. And that's coming from the protective side of me. I had to take on that role because, my husband does have a big heart. But when you don't show up, you don't call, you don't invite, it's either you're embarrassed or you were never a true friend, to him. And for me, I'm going to be that protector, So, what my advice to you is, the friends that you do have, you know who the true ones are, and who you would think that would be there during a hard time or a tragedy or anything like that. You think but in reality, you don't know.
Like, for example, today, I had B's on right now. B texted me. He called me earlier and see how he's doing. Like, damn, so it's 4 years. Josh, as a matter of fact, most of my supporters on my YouTube, which I now like to call you my YouTube family, are from Josh, Rojo. And, Rojo hit me up today, see how he's doing. Josh hit me up today, see how he's doing. B hit me up today, see how he's doing. Another friend, like my brother, Alonzo, he hit me up today, see how he's doing. And my sister. Those were the only ones that hit me up today to see how he's doing. And it's just, it is what it is. It just, I was one that was always a jump. You didn't have a place to stay? Hey, my door is open. It just, like B, B's on, when one of our cars went down, he was there. As soon as I sent him a text, hey, I got you. It's just, I know Josh and Rojo. So since my incident, my wife's job has gone down. Her hours dropped from 40 hours a week to about 5 hours a week, or less. And so now she's trying to find another job to where she can still take care of me and get my kids to school at the same time. So our refrigerator went out like 3 weeks ago. So I'm supposed to be putting ice packs on because I just had surgeries on both sides of my femurs. So I can't even stand up yet. I'm supposed to be putting ice pack, but I got no refrigerator to even make an ice pack.
You got your little one, but that doesn't make no taste.
Our electricity, our income is less than our bills. Our electricity was to get shut off. And, you know, after a while, you know, I just get tired of putting myself out there, and it just, but, you know, Rojo came over the other day, and him and and Josh, and, you know, everybody, I thank everybody that, you know, that helped us. Uh, you know, it's another blessing. But the people that comes through for you during time of need is surprising, because, you know, it's the ones you least expect to come through for you. And, you know, this all has to do with my incident. So now, so I'm kind of like going through some healing process right now. They say it takes up to a year to have my shoulder to be completely healed. Now, keep in mind, during my incident, they had so my face, my whole left side, my body is pretty much full of dead people's bone and hardware. My femur healed, but it healed with gaps in it. So that's why I had to have this surgery that I had Monday. That had to take bone marrow out of my other femur and fill up the gaps on my bad femur. And so I can't even stand on my good leg at the moment. My shoulder, when they did it, they went in, they took out some of the hardware out of my forearm. They took out remember, it was an emergency surgery because it had a big old lump. Kind of found out it was a hardware that was too big for my shoulder. So maybe they thought that's what it was. But they wound up having to do a reverse shoulder replacement. So I'm still healing from that. On top of healing from that, my new surgery I just got done on my femurs. So what they did for my femur was they took bone marrow out of my good femur and filled up the gaps into my bad femur. And then they put a rod going from my knee all the way to my hip that sits in the middle of my leg. So they took out the hardware that sits on the outside of my leg, and they replaced it with a rod from my knee to my hip. So now on top of my shoulder healing up, now got to let my femurs heal up. So being, you know, all this recovery, I'm like how you say, I'm like I get the heat flashes where my body is cold but my face is hot. And I was like this when I first came out of recovery, when I first came home from the hospital, and I asked the doctor, why is that? And they explained it to me, it's because the way they explained it to me is because my face is close to my heart, where my heart pumps the blood out to. Well, the way they signal, yeah, so they broke it down. So pretty much my face would be the first thing that gets hot, where my body stays cold because of all the pain and all the healing I'm still doing. And that's what I'm going through now, is that, get out. So now, like right now, literally I'm sweating, but my body's cool. And that has to do with all the healing that I'm doing. But I'm going through like a double, triple healing right now because of the shoulder still healing, my femur, my surgery that I just had on Monday. So I'm not one that's big on pain pills. Now, I take it when I absolutely need it. And I've been absolutely needed them. Just I don't take them the way they tell me to, because I'm not one that wants to get hooked on it. So, and one of the things I left out too was that how it's ironic that I was never a drinker. I was always a designated driver. And it's just ironic that I got hit by a drunk driver. Now, when I did drink, it was a big deal. Oh, man, he's gonna drink. Hey, let's go kick it at Manchester. I want to see him drink. Everybody show up when they found out that I would drink because I wasn't a big drinker. So it's very rarely that I would drink. Probably once, maybe twice a year. And I know there's a lot of things I left out. That's because I don't want, beyond this life. Man, I can get into details and a lot of stuff I can get into. But my main thing, honestly, is I accepted it from the jump. And I'm blessed to be here. As a matter of fact, before you get off, can you show those the 2 clips of me in my pickup truck from morning up? So the first guy I'm seeing, and I believe I was in this person's way for a purpose. I might have saved the guy that was behind me. I might have saved his life, or him.
Sorry, guys.
So, there's a purpose why I'm still here. And I believe I'm making a positive out of my negative, and I'm trying to save lives now. And, I still know people that goes out there and drink and drive, but I know a lot of people that no longer drinks and drives because of my incident. And so that off top tells me that, people, I have made a change. So she's going to put up right now on the screen. So the first person I'm seeing, of course, after they called 911, they were behind me. Took a video clip. It was Snapchat. Took 2 little Snapchats of me suffering in my pickup truck. But she's going to put those up right now. And the reason why we got them was because, recipe. I bought my truck off a good friend of mine's, and he happened to be his old boss. And he was like, look, your truck. And that's the only reason why, not because he wanted to see me suffering in the truck, nothing to do like that. It's because he wanted to show, look at, your truck was just in an accident, but he didn't know who I was, nothing like that, at that time. But that's how I got the 2 video clips. Huh?
That's what's that?
So she can show you that right now.
And just a little, this is hard to see. Sorry, babe. This is hard to see. So just keep in mind, when you watch it.
Hemorrhaging. ¿Estás bien? Ahorita llegan. Ahí nomás quédate. Ahorita ya van a llegar. No, he's messed up. Sonny, it's your truck. Grills on that truck. Oh, shit. Hey, brother, just stay right there, man. Try not to get out, you might hurt yourself more.
Now, keep in mind, in that time, I was trying to get out because I was trying to save the people that was in the other car. And then, I don't know if that was during that time or during the time I was flipping out because, like I said, I was a truck driver, so my son used to go with me to work sometimes. But he would go with me to work when I would take my own truck. And I remember during that time, I thought my son was with me, and I started flipping out because I couldn't see him. Now, so those are the two little clips right there. If you look down and you look under DUI accident crash, the day that changed my life, you see pictures of me. You see those two little video clips in there. If you guys want to share that. And I was going to say something.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, anybody got any questions for me? Please feel free. Or if you want to join my live with me and talk to me, direct. If you want to turn off your camera, that's cool. I'm down with that too.
I think I asked earlier how long after the accident did you start teaching again?
So before my accident, I didn't know how to DJ. I just DJed for fun, for people that couldn't afford a DJ. And I put on Craigslist. I had a couple 18s. I had some equipment. So right before my accident, though, I did get some good equipment because I wanted to learn how to DJ professionally. But after my accident, as a matter of fact, after we moved in here, so we moved in here, what year? My accident happened 2018, 2020?
The end of 2019.
So the end of
Yeah.
Oh,
The end of
so
2019.
because of my accident, now I suffer from seizures. I had a real bad seizure. That's another thing I forgot. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of things I'm leaving out. But so after we moved in here, it's when I started teaching myself how to DJ. My equipment that I had got before my accident got ruined in storage during the time we were homeless. Got ruined in storage. Oil got spilled all over it. So, we had to help getting some new equipment. So when we were getting the new equipment, I had asked the guy, is there anything that I can use that I don't need a laptop that takes like USBs for, multiple music. I don't have to keep switching out CDs. That takes anything besides something that I need my eyesight with.
It's freezing me out.
So he looked it up and he took a minute and he found a board that Newmark made that takes USBs. So from there, I got the board. My wife, my kids started downloading music and started putting the songs in order and how, I needed them placed. Ow. And that's when I started. So that's when I started learning how DJ was after we moved in here. And actually, it was a couple months after we moved in here because we had to get new equipment all over again. And so after I got the new equipment, I learned the board. I learned what the board didn't do. I learned what did what, and download the music on the USBs and start putting them in order. Like I said, I had a friend of mine's that DJ years ago, and he told me what to listen to. I had another friend of mine's tell me how to adjust the sounds to make it sound better when I'm blending in the next song. And then, now I got some USB set up perfectly if I do like mega mixes, but like regular songs so it took me, it didn't take me that long to learn how to DJ. As a matter of fact, you look back on my,
Just nothing.
And, but remind you, I didn't, have any classes of going to DJ. I didn't learn. I just got on there, and it was a drive of mine. For one, I know my music. I've always had since I was a little kid. For two, it was a passion of mine that I wanted to do even before my accident. Just unfortunately, I didn't learn it until after my accident, after we moved in here. And it was something that I wanted to do to put food on our table. Like I was saying, now, we don't, our refrigerator broke down on us a couple of weeks ago. And then, I'm grateful for Josh and Ro doing that, for me, for us just keep our light on.
Questions. You keep babbling.
Yeah. So anybody got any other questions?
Yes, but you keep babbling. Stop babbling.
You gotta tell me. I didn't know. I don't know what else to tell me.
Tiny's 2 Angels 81 said, sorry so late, but listening. He said, I was the one who lost the son in the car accident in 2016. There's still days I want to just see my boys in heaven. We know how you feel. Not only, this wasn't the first thing that's ever happened to us in this is now 28 years of being together. We've also lost 2 children. You can see their little footprints and stuff behind us in the memory glasses, but our first son we lost in 2000. He was a month shy of his 2nd birthday, and we lost our last child to the same heart condition, but he only lived to be 11 days old. So I get it. As a mother, my husband too, as a father, I think the worst thing in this world is to lose a child. I've lost a mother and I've lost grandmothers and aunts and uncles, but when you lose a child, they take a piece of you with them. So my heart goes out to you. Much respect to you. Thank you for tuning in and sharing that with us. And you will be in our prayers. But my mother used to say all the time that when God takes babies, that they remain babies until you go to heaven to raise them. So I feel you. I can't wait to get to heaven until I can raise my babies.
Yeah, I tell you, much respect to you, and thank you for tuning in. And my wife couldn't say any better. My mother-in-law is one that she was one of a kind. Let's just say that, with a lot of knowledge. And when we lost our babies, that's one of the first things she told us was that exactly what my wife just said. They remain babies until our turn comes and we go up there and raise them.
But yeah, my newborn had complications like that and only lived 3 days. Yeah, it's hard. It's it's not one of those things. When you lose a parent or a grandparent or an uncle, that pain stays with you. They're a big influence in your life. Especially your parents, but when you lose a child, it's always put back on. Their thought process was, especially as a mother. I tell my husband this all the time. As a mother that's lost a child, I think in some way it's a deep emotional pain, because we carried them, right? We carried them for 9 months. We felt them grow. We felt them have the hiccups. Everything. And to have them not stick around, it's hard, because you look at, if you have other children like we do, the first son that we lost, we had 2 older children. He was our 3rd child. And then we had, 2, 3, 4, 5 in between our last child that were perfectly healthy, no complications, no anything wrong, perfectly healthy. And I know after my first son passed away, the doctor, because we did multiple studies, because we didn't want to continue to keep having children with the same condition. So we did a lot of studies and a lot of testing and a lot of family background and a lot of, his family history, my family history, that kind of thing. And the doctor that we went and seen, he basically told us, like the chances of you having another child with the same heart condition is like 1 in a billion. Now I should have won the damn fucking lottery because, I have 5 girls and I was hoping for another boy. I by the time I had our last son, there was like 11 years in between. And I wanted another boy, and it happened to be a boy. And I was told throughout my pregnancy everything was good, And then my husband almost lost me and him. I started hemorrhaging really bad, and I had to have an emergency C-section. And that's when we found out that he was sick. So, it's losing a child is just one of those things that, you can't just move on. Because like with us, it's always, I wonder what they would have looked like. My oldest son would have been 21 years old, going to be 22. And my youngest would have been almost 12 if they were still alive. So you always have that in the back of your head of what they would have looked like, or what they would have become, or if they would have become something, who knows, So my heart goes out to you and your family, because losing a child is something you can't just move on, and nobody's going to understand that unless they've also lost a child.
And one thing
I don't mean this to be in a mean way, but how can you cope without being sober to heal for pain? So he had put, I don't mean this in a mean way, but how can you cope without being sober and heal the pain? My mother. I didn't lose my mother until after we lost our children. And it was her. And I'm not going to lie. There were days that I wanted the pain to go away so bad that I did drink, but to pass out. But then the more I kept thinking about it, the more my mother was present. She didn't just help me. She helped my husband. She helped my children. It was our faith. It was me realizing that for my first son, he was on hospice. Like I said, he was a month shy of his 2nd birthday. And so he was tiny for almost a 2-year-old. He only weighed, I think, 15 pounds for a 2-year-old.
12 pounds.
12 pounds.
12 pounds. And you know what sucks is that I got in arguments with so many doctors telling me, you know what, he needs to be put on hospice. We didn't see him as sick. We didn't see him that way. When we go back and look at videos,
now we can see how sick he really was. And it's not the easiest thing to go through. I mean, there was a lot of times where I just wanted to be with them. So I get that feeling. And it is hard, but having people that can relate in your situation, because my mother did relate in my situation. And I think that's why it helped, because I had a brother that passed away at a young age. He was hit by a car. He was 6 years old. My mother lost him. And if it wasn't for her sharing in my pain, because it was somebody that knew how I was feeling, not somebody that was empathizing or have good intention and saying, I'm here when you need to talk. Having somebody that knew the pain I was going through and shared in that pain helped, because I could say anything and it wasn't, oh, time will heal. That used to piss me off. because they didn't know. So my mom relating in my pain, relating in our pain, helped us a lot. But yeah, you never get off. You never get over losing a child ever. And when my husband got in this accident, that was the first person I wanted to call, was my mother. But by then she was already gone. She had been passed away already. He put, I definitely I lost my dear father. I was 28 years old, and I'm traumatized, and I can't let go of the grief. Sometimes I get hella depressed because he died trying to save a life. It hurts so bad. It does. My mother, losing a parent is no joke either. You know, you kind of, I tried to tell my husband, my father's still alive, thank God. When I lost my mother, I told my husband it's weird because I come from a big family. I have 6 sisters and four brothers. And so, but the feeling when you lose a parent, I felt after losing her, I felt like an orphan. I felt like my place was missing, like my space in this world was lost because she was gone. Because she was such a big present in my life and my brothers and sisters and my father and my children. My husband, for example, my mother adored him, and sometimes she would take his side before she'd take mine. So, losing a parent ain't no joke either. And, like I said, if you talk to somebody that can relate, it's harder to get through your day. I mean, easier to get through your day, easier to see the clarity and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Huh? What?
Is that Tiny?
Yes. No. Yeah, that was Tiny. Tiny. Oh, that was Paula. I'm sorry, Paula. That was you. But yeah, losing a parent ain't no joke. I lost my mother. I think I was in my 30s. She died in 2013. And it's hard because I don't know, Paula, if you do this, but when there's a big moment in my life, and my mom's been gone, like I said, since 2013, but when there's a big moment in your life, or you are excited about something, or you're just stressed out, I still catch myself sometimes wanting to pick up the phone and call her, but I know she's there with me. I could hear her, when I'm stressed out, the things that she would say to me just pop into my head, like, pray, baby, pray. And I know that she's there.
And for Tiny and Paula, if you guys ever need anybody to talk to, give me a call. My number's on there. And, for Paula, we want, I'm more, my wife can, talk to you. She knows how it is to, lose a parent. Well, not how it is, but how it feels. And, I got my phone. It's a flip phone, but, it works. It works for me. Because losing somebody, it's not easy. It's not easy.
I'm not gonna lie, Paula. It's hard to keep faith. I've lost my faith several times, especially after my mom died. I would literally go by the church and literally all the way, like, damn you. I've lost 2 children and now my mother, and my husband is on life support. I've done it. So it's hard to keep your faith, but sometimes, it gets you through. And like I said, talking to people that have lost loved ones, that have lost children, that have been through traumatic experiences are the ones that you need to talk to, because, even your closest friends. I have best friends. I have 2 beautiful women, that have been a part of my life for years. One of them I've known since I was a child. But I know that she would be there for me in a heartbeat. She would lend me an ear and a hug and a shoulder to cry on. But when it comes to my boys, I try to keep that to myself, because she knows how it is to lose a parent, but to lose a child, it's hard to explain to somebody the pain. So if you ever need to talk, Paula, I'm just a phone call or a text away. If you ever have a moment,
My numbers are all over my descriptions, and so Tiny, you too, need somebody to talk to, hit me up. My number 209-496-7571, and Paula, from there I give you Kim's number. And Tiny, you need anyone to talk to, feel free to hit me up. Trust me, we know how it is. We know how it is when you need somebody to talk to, and anytime, hit us up.
Paula, I still do that. I still log away myself. The only thing I think what I do now, I did that in the beginning after my mom passed. I didn't want to see nobody. I didn't want to go nowhere. I didn't want to do nothing. Like I said, I felt like an orphan. I felt like my whole world was falling apart and I couldn't function without her. But I still do that now, but in a different way. I don't think that many people see it that's close to me. But I tend to isolate myself. And no matter how much I miss my best friends, one of them moved away to Montana, and that hurt me a lot because we got really close really fast. I haven't talked to her in months, and it's not because I don't love her and I don't miss her, because I miss her terribly, but it's because I'm hurting inside so much with everything that I've been through that it's hard to, like I said, to share it with somebody that's, and April, if you're watching this, honey, I'm in no way saying this out of disrespect or anything like that, but when you see somebody like, say, mine and Manuel's situation, shout out to all the Scott family. If you're watching, I love you. But I think it's more of your life is going so good and I love you for it. And I'm proud and I'm fucking excited for you. And I'm happy that you guys are doing great. But my life is still shit. And I don't want to bring you down. So I can relate where you just want to lock yourself away and just let the whole world pass by you. But I'm working on that. I'm working on trying to open up, and being there for the people that are there for me and vice versa, letting them be there for me. So, like I said, if you ever just need to talk or just need somebody on the other phone just to listen, let me see. Is there a specific type of music you like? You DJ, babe?
Honestly, I could DJ with anything and everything, but a specific type of music that I like. Well, my favorite is oldies all the way. My favorite is the oldies.
That was his game, by the way, back in the day.
That was my game. I thought I was a Mac back in the days when it came down to oldies. But honestly, old school freestyle, older music. Not this I call shitty music today. Today's shitty music where you hear all this mumble rap and it just. But you throw that at me, somebody requests that, I'll play it. I'll play it. The only thing I don't play, and I took out of my list, and there's still some files I got to go through and take them out, is and I actually turned down Sweet 16 because that's what they were requesting. So I told them that I couldn't do it. Is R. Kelly songs. Nope, won't do it.
You know?
I'll pray for you, Tiny's. Two angels.
Okay. Tina,
I feel ya.
what's your favorite oldie?
Both of us do. I'll pray for you. Try to keep your faith, whatever faith it may be, whatever faith it may be.
Yeah, Tanya, you ever need somebody to talk to, hit me up. My number's in the descriptions. And as far as my favorite oldies, honestly, shoo, I got over 30,000 favorite oldies.
He said, "You never thought I'd lose any more kids before I married, but honestly, I'm a daddy's boy. If I didn't commit suicide as much as I live so much, I'm scared whenever the day comes to. My dad going to heaven, that I think will take me." You know what? What's your number? What's your number one you go to?
Okay, what I got?
The what?
Tina asked, "What's your number one go to?"
Oh, oldie.
Your favorite oldie?
Honestly, I can't even call it. The one, honestly, I can't even call it. I have to say, there's two of them. One of them has to be Angel Baby, because that was the song that our first son that passed away, that he would not fall asleep to. He would not fall asleep until my wife sang it to him. And that's even on his tombstone. And the other one, I have to say, I forgot the name of that song. What's the name of that song, Kim? Remember, I played it because I thought I was a Mac when I was taking you home that first night.
When will I see you again?
When will I see you again? Now,
Yeah, that's a story in itself.
yeah, so that story. So when will I see you again? So that story, I had just came back from a little vacation, thanks to the taxpayers.
You went to band camp.
And it was the second day from vacation. I went and picked up Kim, and let's just say she attacked me. But last minute, she got scared, and I'm not gonna lie, I was scared.
Well,
I didn't want.
They gotta know that we were friends, like literally just friends. He was dating, I was dating. I would call him and say, "Oh, hell no, this motherfucker," and he'd tell me, "Oh, this bitch is crazy." We were friends for 3 years almost, before we were, we were always together. Like, he would pick me up and I would be at, we'd go here, we go to San Francisco, we go over here, we do a lot of things, but just strictly friends. After the almost 3 year mark, and he went to band camp, when he came back, we basically sat down and had a conversation. Like, what are we doing? We're always together,
That's not how it went, though.
And yes, I did. I kissed him. Okay. That gives him
great
satisfaction to know that I was the aggressor.
We were wrestling.
And it started to go a little further. And yeah, I did. I got scared because he was my best friend. He is my best friend. And I didn't want to lose that relationship. I didn't want to make it messy by throwing in feelings and sex and all of that, because what if it went bad? He was the one person I could talk to and I could laugh and have fun with. And there was, I didn't want to lose any of that, and him too, and literally, like, it was that moment before we took that extra step. Like, we were all into it, and I just stopped. And I asked him to take me home, and okay, let's go. And he took me home, and Like when I say his oldies were his game, his oldies were his game.
And literally, she tripped out because she thought I was gonna get mad. I didn't get mad. I respected it. I didn't want to lose that friendship either. But like I said, I went into Mac Daddy mode on the way home, and I slapped in that jam. When would I sing again?
Yeah. So.
And she caught on. She knew what I was doing.
I did.
It accidentally went on.
Sam Ramo put Miss Paula, me and my wife have lost both our parents. We miss them every day. Yeah. Sam, yeah, we were just talking about that losing a parent, you kind of feel like an orphan, you kind of feel like your place in this world is just misplaced. DJ See No Evil is a great DJ, definitely. Subs and activate the 2 times to get notifications when he mixes. That's Paula. What's your longest DJ set that you DJ'd?
I'd say it was about 7 hours.
You're gonna get it. She said 24 hours at our house. I'd say about 6 hours.
About 6, 7.
About 6 hours or so.
No, I think it was 7 hours because I remember he says really 7 hours, and they saw you charged them. And
yeah, I had to cut him off because he was being too generous. Like they paid for a certain amount, and then as time went by, he was getting too much into it, and no, don't worry about it. And I was like, no, I want to go home. I'm his road crew. I want to go home. I want to go home. So,
You said I told my wife and kids when I passed the new play war song.
they need to play what?
War song.
I didn't hear you.
War song.
Where is that? Oh, yeah. Timo put, I told my wife and kids when I pass, they need to play war. So, yeah, my husband has told me since we've been dating, over the years, we've talked about what we would do and how we do it and whatnot, And the one thing he's said, and he's told all of our kids and everything, is that when it is his time, he goes, I don't care what kind of coffin you get me. I don't care if it's a
put
plain
me,
box.
Just throw me in the floor with no box. I don't give a damn. Just the loudest radio you can get and bump that shit.
Bump it.
And somebody tells you to turn it down, play that one song. I forgot who sings it. My mind's going blank right now. I said, if somebody tells you to turn it down, play that one song. The one that says, it's an easy. I like to play my music. They say my music's too loud. That one. And turn that shit up.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that, me and Manuel have been together 28 years. So I think that if something were to happen to him before me, I think oldies would be ruined for me for life. I don't think I could ever, even our song was an oldie, is an oldie, So yeah.
But I have to say, 28 years, 9 kids later.
I know.
All my 9 kids,
Me too.
not one of them were my fault. She drugged me in morphine and Viagra.
Okay. You want to go get something?
I want to Teresa put what is your guys' song?
Laugh my butt off. What is your guys' song? Okay, wait. I want to see if he remembers what our song is. Do you remember what our song is?
Yes, I do remember what our song is. Oh, mine's driving a blank right now. It's but hold on, give me a minute. I played it the other day on our live, and I said this is our song.
It's My Dearest Darling.
My Dearest Darling. My Dearest Darling. No, yeah.
My dearest darling.
I was gonna be smart ass, and I was gonna say drifting on a memory.
I can't with you right now. I can't. I'm surprised none of you guys have asked what happened in court. Huh? What this girl got for hitting him?
That's Jen.
Restitution. If she had restitution, the worst part about it is that they had no insurance. So compensation for his vehicle, compensation for his injury, compensation for the lifetime of being disabled, we got nothing. The judge gave her 10 years with 2 years time served. She'll get out April of 25. And that's even if the jail doesn't give her good behavior and let her ass out sooner.
It's June 26th.
No, it's 25. Huh? Oh. Yep, Sam, that is. It's bullshit. Polly, yep, it's fucked up. Especially since, it wasn't just like, we went to court, we listened to all the evidence, we listened to the testimony, we did, it wasn't just sitting through it, it was sitting through the bullshit, because she thought she was about it, if you know what I mean. She thought she was about it, and her little minions that showed up thought they were about it, still think they're about it. So it was a lot of pressing up on my kids, pressing up on me, trying to intimidate us like my husband did this to her instead of vice versa. So it was a 2 years worth of trying to intimidate my girls, trying to intimidate me, thought that they were badasses. But you know what? I believe in karma, and that bitch can be a real bitch. So I'm hoping that karma kicks in. Tiny's put, the guy who hit me only got 2 fucking months with 2 years probation. The system fucking sucks. Yep, it does. Manuel started doing, started speaking at the high schools right after his accident. It still is. Speaks to their program, at the every 15 minutes program about drinking and driving. And we've gotten close to a lot of CHP officers and stuff like that. And it came up in conversation one time, like, even they have said, you want to get away with practically murder. Get drunk and get behind the wheel, because more than likely you'll get a slap on the wrist. And that's what sucks, is because, even though this girl, and I'm not even going to say girl, her name is Cheristina. Her name is Cheristina. She thinks she's about it. And she only got so much time, and it sucks. It sucks because she was on her 4th DUI when she hit Manuel. She was on her 4th DUI, and they only gave her a slap on the wrist, basically.
You know what, though? Honestly, what it is that I've never got an apology. The only one that ever tried to apologize was her grandmother, which wasn't even her fault. And she didn't know the full story. She came up to me in court and said, "I'm sorry for your leg." And that was it. But it wasn't even her fault. It wasn't the grandmother's fault. It was the individual that was driving and the ones that was in the car with him. None of them tried apologizing. And the only time trying to send a letter our way, but knowing, certain people in that person's circle, I was getting that person's side of the story that person was giving to their friends and their family members, and it was way different than what happened. Uh, it was way different than the evidence showed on the scene. It was way different, and pretty much it was my fault, and yeah, it was just way different. That side of the story is way different than the truth, and very strategically, uh, they try to read that letter the day of the sentencing, and it was pretty much say, I know you're going through yours. I know you guys are suffering, but you got to keep in mind, you guys ain't the only one suffering. I'm suffering too, and my family's suffering too. But the very next day, on one of the cousins' page, which was sent to us through, not gonna say who, but was sent to us. There was a little, during COVID, and visitation was over Zoom. Made this song saying that I gotta get over my oppression. I gotta stop using their name to get famous, which I never used their name. I never ever once used their name.
No, in 4 years, this is the first time we've mentioned her name.
And when they get out, they're gonna get their redemption. So it's like, come on now. Even till this day, she talks to certain people that she thinks that it's cool with her, but yet having no clue, they're telling me. Finally, I got to the point about 6 months ago. I got to the point and said, you know what? I don't want to hear nothing no more. Let's do something positive where they're doing something productive and making something positive out of their lives and meaningful. I don't want to hear. I'm tired of hearing negative shit. My life ain't about being negative. My life's about being positive. I try and make positive changes and try and raise awareness to drivers out there. Instead, I've been hearing to this day, till about finally when I told them, I don't want to hear it no more. That side of the story was, it was my fault. That when they get out, they're gonna handle theirs, and a bunch of bullshit. So I finally got to the point, so I don't want to hear that shit no more.
They were doing fundraisers and selling T-shirts to free her. That's how childish and how much remorse they had. It was bullshit. Paula put, I was a victim of a drunk driver, and he got off. Changed my life. My back got injured, non-operable. I had to have the courage to wake myself up and get back to normal and live with the pain decades back. Yep.
Hey, Paula, you ever want to tell your story? And I'm down to record it and put it, regardless if you don't want to show your face and nothing like that, we can do it over the phone, and I'll record it, and of course make it sound better, go run it back and make it sound better, and I can post it on my channel, because that's another thing I want to do for anybody that knows anybody's been impacted in any way by DUI, regardless if you were the driver or you were a victim. I'm willing to, tell your story. As long as it's not an open case, I'm willing to have people get on, interview them, have them tell their story on my channel. Because it's something I am very passionate about, to raise awareness. There's so many things that I hear about driving, about people dying. I have a cousin, when I was little, he passed away from a drunk driver, and being that it was that driver's very first offense, he fought it. He fought it for like 3 months, and being that it was his first DUI, he got off, time served. And my cousin had come back though.
And he's put, DJ, I didn't want to see the guy during court. I told my lawyer I was scared to be in the same room with him. I feel you on that, Penny. I was nervous every time I walked into the courtroom when this girl was being charged for hitting Manuel, because there was times where I thought I was going to lose it and be like those people on court TV and jump over and try to get the bitch. Because there was times where I would literally sit in the courtroom and picture myself doing just that. So my lawyer told me he wanted to say he was sorry and this and that. I told him, no, if you want to blow this case, keep him away from me. She tried that with us. Except that the way they went about it was totally disrespectful, because she was trying to get a plea deal, and her lawyer came and told us that she wanted to apologize. She had wrote a letter to Manuel and wanted to apologize, and that she was deeply sorry, blah, blah, blah. Bleh. Okay. And then, but, this is the deal that we want.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, if it was really sincere.
The deal that she wanted for that letter was if she got 3 years time served with no probation.
No, probation for 2 years.
Yeah, probation for 2 years. Now, luckily for me, I never seen her. But we did know who she was, because she just came to our house a couple times.
She ran in the same circles as my oldest son.
And and the crazy thing, the morning of the accident, she was going back to a party that was being held for somebody that died because of a drunk driver. And
you would think that you wouldn't get in a car drunk if you were trying to memorialize somebody that died in a car accident by a drunk driver. Yeah.
So there was a DA that was on the case. She was being moved to another county, I think it was. A new DA took over, and he wanted a meeting with the judge in the chambers. And I was paying attention because I heard yelling back there.
Well, that's all you do is listen.
I was paying attention because I heard yelling back there. And I heard the judge yell, everything she did, and this is all you want to do? This is all you want to give her? And there was a big argument. Well, he came back and the judge said that, postpone it to a different date. And he came out and said, this is what I want to do. I want to give her time serving. Remind you, it was only like 2 months that she was in there.
At that time?
Yeah.
She was in there. Yeah, no. She was in there about 4 months.
And the DA wanted to give her time served and 3 years probation. And Kim was saying, well, you came with everything she caused with my husband. He goes, what? There's nothing new. There's no new injuries, is there? Is there any new injuries? And yeah, so he was pretty much a joke. But the judge wound up taking him off the case because the judge thought he was a joke. And another DA had took over, and she wanted to take it all the way to the box. She wanted to take it all the way. Finally, her lawyer said that let the judge decide. So, okay, they asked us, and really let the judge decide. You know, it is what it is. And the judge, since she read her sympathy letter the day of the sentencing, which that it was the same letter she was going to give us for a plea bargain. Pretty much say, I'm sorry, I hurt your family, but your family's not the only one hurting. I'm hurting. My family's hurting.
I have to go to jail. I'm the one that's sitting behind bars, but I'm sorry to you that I hurt you. That's not a fucking apology. I'm sorry that I said it like that, but that's not an apology. Like, you can't, even coming from a parent point of view, like her parents were there, which I would be there, as a parent, regardless of how your kid fucks up, you're going to be there, whether you agree with what happened, whether you're pissed too or whatever. But to be harassed by her parents, here, answer this.
So
to be harassed by her parents and everything, and not even her parents came up and said, I'm sorry, what my daughter did. Even if that wasn't their fault. They had no part in that. They had no decision. She's a grown-ass woman. She did what she did. But
just a grandma.
All we got was a bunch of shit talking because they were saying that my husband hit her and she only got arrested because she was drinking. But yet she was, after the accident, now the accident was September 18, 2018. She paroled 2 days. She got booked a day and a half, 2 days later because she broke her legs. She was in the hospital. So when they released her 2 days later into custody with the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Department, okay, they booked and released her. She was out on bail until after the first of the year when she had to go to court. So she got to spend time with her family. She got to spend her holidays and all that. And where was I? Hoping and praying that my husband gets off life support. I have video of this woman. And I say woman because she is a woman. She tries to make herself out to be a man, but she is a woman. I have video of her before Christmas standing up on a stage, jumping up and down, claiming that both legs are broken and, oh, poor me, all over social media. I have video of her at a concert, jumping up and down, rapping. And I'm thinking to myself, you're doing all this and my husband is on life support. No remorse, none. The system is so freaking broken.
So after court, after she gave that, read that letter, apology letter, the very next day during Zoom was the day that proved to me, not only, from what people were telling me that knew her personally, what she was saying, on top of it all, she proved it and stamped everything they were telling me by, after sentencing, what she said, that letter she read was pretty much a joke to her because she was laughing. And we have that video because it was sent to us by somebody who she thinks is close to her. And telling me that I need to stop using her name to get famous. I need to get over my oppression. And when she gets out, she's going to get her redemption. So, it is what it is. I finally, told a few people actually that I don't want to hear no more. I don't want to hear no more unless it's something positive that she's doing, something productive, something positive. Unless she wants to come out there and, speak with me and help try, raise awareness and make something positive out of it. I don't want to hear it. Plain and simple. I flat out just don't want to hear it.
Yeah, our system is broken.
But, she's claiming she's going to come out and get her revenge. Revenge from what? From me being in her way? But honestly, I don't consider myself a victim because, she didn't pick me out of a lineup or out of a bunch and say, I'm going to run over that person. So I just was at the wrong place at the right time because The reason why I say it that way because I'm pretty sure I probably saved the guy's life behind me. That was behind me. That took those little video clips of me. Oh, I thought you were reading something. You said something. I thought you were reading something.
It should be Paul's comment. Paul put, yeah, that's what happened to me. People were on the drugs side, not me. I felt violated 2 times. And all he did was 5 hours. He hid his assets, so 0 restitution.
Yeah, systems.
You know, Paula, even with restitution, you know, it's sort of like you can't, like with my husband, before she gets out, she'll be served with restitution. So, but the bad thing about that is that you can't get blood from a rock. You know, this girl, you know, is this wannabe, literally in all sense of the words. Our generation, she's a wannabe. And she doesn't have a job. You know, she's probably just, you know, who knows, gets her money wherever the hell she may get it, right? But if it's not taxed, when am I going to see that money? If it's not proven, you know, that she has an income and she should be paying my husband for what she did, I'll never see that money ever. And that's the sad part about it. You know, that's where our system is so broken because, you know, so many people get in this situation, so many families, you know, and these people go and about their life like nothing. You know, they do a year. Some of them only get off with months of community service because it's their first offense. You know, it's just sad. It's sad that it's our system is that broken that you know, we have no protection. You know, just like I told the judge, like, yeah, his bones will heal. His injuries will heal with time, with therapy. Yeah, that part will heal. If it was only just that, I would be able to forgive her. If it was only just that, I would be able to move on in some sense. But she took the one thing from him that can never return, and that's his sight. He'll never be able to see me again. He'll never be able to see his grandchildren. And I only have one child. We only have one child that has children. And I have 7 more that are going to have children. So how many more grandchildren that he'll never be able to see? How many? I have 5 daughters. How many daughters will he be walking down the aisle and not be able to literally say, you look so beautiful?
I'd be hopping down the aisle.
You know what I mean?
I'd be hopping down the aisle.
She took things from us as a couple away. You know, we can never share in a moment of, you know, oh, this is what happened, or go on vacation and really be able to do things and experience it together. You know, I don't know who exactly is on right now or who will watch it, but as a woman, you know, as a woman, not just a mother, but as a woman, when you're with the person that you're meant to be with for the rest of your life, not being able to have that man tell you you're beautiful when you just get dressed, you know, you get dressed up to go to some place, or just get dressed up just to be dressed up, you know, feel yourself. You know what I mean? Tell you how sexy you look. Only from memory. Only from memory. You know, and
well, there is a plus side to that. I never see her get old.
Yeah, that too. Like, I guess that is a plus. Like, y'all forever be fucking hot. But, you know, for the women that are watching it, like, you need that from the person that you love the most. Like, you know, men need it too. You know, as much as they try to act all masculine and shit, you know damn well you need your significant other to tell you how sexy you look, how handsome you are, you know. But she took that from me. And I can't forgive her. I can't. Every day. And I grew up with, my mother was a very Catholic woman. So my faith was very strong. So with all my faith, every day, I hate her just a little bit more.
And honestly, on my end, I forgave her a long time ago. I mean, there's no reason to be mad at something you can't change. There's no, it is what it is. She has remorse. She don't have remorse. It's not going to affect my life. You know, I just got to move forward and make the best of what I do got. And that's my wife, my kids, and the people I'm close to. And fight for what we do got. And, you know, to sit there and let that be a barrier, it's only a waste of my time. And my time can be going to something more important, like music.
One day, can you do your equipment like some sorts? I do want to get back into DJing and give you some of the world's movement for me.
What's that, do you know?
Just this 310 SoCal.
310 SoCal. 310 SoCal, you still on?
Can you hear me yet?
Well, you guys are here reading it. That's
I
why.
know, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
All right. So I do what I got right now that I learned. It's a basic 3-channel Newmark that takes USBs and CDs. But I got a Prime 4 denim that it comes with a built-in laptop with everything. It has all the sound effects, all the echoes. It has everything. But there's so much to it. I wanted to learn that because, you know, the Newmark faders go out so fast. So my daughter, Raina, she's been learning it. She's been learning it. Honestly, she's having fun learning it. And she learned to where I can bypass the touchscreen all within itself. I can bypass the touchscreen completely. But she's learning touchscreen too, because you can record straight onto USBs with that. And now that board is badass. If you look it up on YouTube, it's the highest thing. You know, you can upgrade it through the online. Comes with all the music, all the updated music. It takes USBs. It takes laptops. It takes comes with a built-in laptop. And once she learns it completely, she's gonna start teaching me slowly but surely. And it comes with the synchronizer. The Newmark I got now doesn't have a synchronizer button like a lot of these new boards got, where it catches the beat for you. So what I got, I have to listen for the beat. Since I can't see the BPMs, I have to listen to it. I have to catch it and then go with it. So a lot of times I just slam them in. But this new one I got that I want to learn once my daughter learns it, teaches me. It's badass. It has everything that all the DJs want today. It does it all and then some. And then I got my subwoofer, and then my 15s all powered, power subwoofer, power 15s.
Thank you, Darlene. I don't look at myself as a strong woman. But thank you. Tino, yeah, he's been my ride or die when he had his sight. There would be nothing that I wouldn't do for him. He's my soulmate. He said you're a definite ride or die. Bonnie and Clyde, not a lot of women would have, to be honest, held their own man down, as fucked up as it sounds. Situation.
Thank you, Timo.
Tino.
Honestly, I told him that if he pisses me off that bad, like I'll hide his leg in his walker. He can't do shit. No, I never do that. I swear to God, I would never do that.
Only when she's mad.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
One more with me.
Cheers. Give me else.
Cheers.
Huh?
I don't know, babe. Do you feel like you're stuck with me?
No.
No? Lies. Tina Boy, you can't downplay yourself. Your girl, you are a strong woman. Thank you, Tino. Yes, Teresa, the leg. She was not the leg. I'm gonna send him to your house when he really pisses me off. All right, we've been on here for 3 hours, babe. Raina, Teresa said hi. Teresa said hi. She said hi.
Yeah. All right. So it's not a description. My phone.
No.
All right. So for what was it? Tiny. For Tiny and Paula, if you guys want to hit us up, or if you guys need a DJ, but from the discussion earlier, Tiny, Paula, you guys want to hit us up? You guys need somebody to talk to? Hit us up. My number is 209-496-7571. So I guess it's not in the description, but it's in the other descriptions of my other lives, my other
Thank you.
stuff I posted. You can find my number in the descriptions. But just to be sure, 209-496-7571. And it is a number that, where's my phone? Here it is.
We can't find him. And if he doesn't answer, it's because he lost it again.
Lock screen 9:03 p.m. Home screen 9:03
And it's one that, it talks to me, reads me everything.
All apps, YouTube. Call log.
Yeah, that gets
YouTube
annoying, by the way.
messages. YouTube. Call log.
And then I know exactly what I'm typing.
9:04 p.m. Home screen
I mean, texting.
9:04 p.m. Sunday, September 8th.
But yeah, there's a lot of things, I had left out from my essay. That was just to get through this live for the most part. And depending if I can hop to my wheelchair. Now, you know what? For sure. We'll see if I go live on Wednesday. Do, a quick little mix or something. And then I'll be back live on Friday and Saturday, I don't know where my grandkids' game's at, so that depends. But for right now, I'll go. Tomorrow's Monday Night Football. I know most people watch Monday Night Football. Wednesday, I'll start a little early. I'll start around the same time, 6 o'clock. It's not too late. It's not too late. I'll go on for about an hour, and then I'll go on Friday.
Did anybody else see him yelling in my ear?
Hey, I didn't see it. No, she was seen it earlier. She grabbed my head. She goes, "The computer's right there, right down, right there."
I'm gonna go like this. So everybody, we're talking. Oh my god! Okay, cat.
Huh?
Tino put, tell him hopefully the Cowboys don't choke. Yep, hopefully they don't.
Hey, we won today, though.
No, I said Cowboys. I just corrected him.
Hey, nah, it's all good though. Our cheerleaders, the Cowgirls, they can choke.
But man, y'all.
I don't mind that. Just saying. That means she's it. Hey, but honestly, I'm a fan of all cheerleaders.
Teresa said, love when you guys are on together. Please do more. Nah. No. This was his one.
Your food is here.
But anybody commenting or?
And Tina put inspirational couple.
Thank you, and I appreciate everybody getting on my new. I got my YouTubers and I got my YouTube family. My YouTube family are the ones always getting on, supporting me. You know, those are the ones that gets on every once in a while. Okay, those are my YouTubers.
Keeps yelling in my ear.
But the one that gets on all the time and support me, hey, my YouTube family, and well, I don't know how far the laptop is.
You're hurting my ear. Okay. Paula said once a week is good. Yeah.
Does everybody want to see their favorite daughter? I put my face in the camera for 5 seconds. Because you know I'm your favorite.
Tiny's put, you hurt me so if I play that when my lady's in the car, she starts thinking for someone else.
Hey, you know what song would have been
Teresa, you already know how we are with each other. Like,
you know what song would have been a perfect song for me to play for my my very first marriage? I should have played it for our wedding dance. That jam, that oldie, you cheated. You see, I would sing, but I don't bring everybody. You know.
You lied.
in my ear.
You said.
Right. Let's show everybody. Camera ready. There you go.
I was singing with you, Dad, and
He
you
was
left me on
talking-
camera by myself.
He was talking to me.
Yeah,
He was
we
talking.
harmonized.
He was talking to the camera, and he goes, "Yeah." Come on, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Okay. If you reach 3,000 followers, Dad, we'll do a karaoke night on your YouTube. Everybody wants to hear us sing.
You guys don't want to hear him sing.
Oh, we got great.
Hey, I see it so good. The dogs start harmonizing with me.
Harmonizing. Harmonizing.
Same shit.
You should have
Potato, tomato, same shit.
potato. Potato, tomato. Those are two different things.
Paula said, let's see.
Excuse me.
Paula said, great topic would be being a caregiver and the challenges. My mom went through that with my dad. Needed so much support. Some people don't know. That's true, Paula. So, sometimes I have my moments. I have my moments, and I wish I had somebody to talk to, other than, of course, Manuel. But sometimes I feel like we're bouncing off the same stresses, so it's really not somebody to talk to, if you know what I mean. And then he's still the same person as he was without, with his sight. So sometimes I want to, the arguments are still the same. So, except this way I get to leave and he doesn't follow.
Hey, just call me hop along.
But I'm not one to get on here. He, this is a favor for him. I don't like the camera.
Just call me hop along.
I don't like the camera. So I'm kind of glad that this is like, hopefully he doesn't save it. But
Hey, you guys think I would get hired at IHOP? I think I qualify.
Ernesto Ruiz, do you get nervous before a DJ set? Yes, he does. You get nervous before you DJ?
No.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
When
you
do I
do.
get nervous?
Not nervous, like 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 you don't know what you're doing and you're hoping nobody catches it, but you get nervous because like you hope that you're gonna do good and they're gonna like you and this and that.
No,
We hear it all the time.
I just get nervous that I hope I have everything.
That falls on his road crew. We're like the Partridge Family. We're his road crew.
The thing I get nervous on the most is
Teresa said, "Hell yeah, karaoke."
the things I get nervous on the most is
Tell Teresa
when
she
they
has to come
request
to
like a
karaoke
different
with us.
genre of music, is switching out USBs because I want to make sure I got the
She
right
said
USB. Because I don't want no pause in the music.
Tiny's put, y'all are wonderful couple. I'll DM you my number. I'm having 3 surgeries in a 2-month time frame and not easy ones. My ankle for my elbow too. So I'll be on more.
Yeah, just go ahead and message me if you want. Text me. My number is 209-496-7571, and it'll come up, and I can text you right back. It's me texting. Trust me. Like I said, this phone, it's the old flip phones with the numbers,
Screen
and it reads me all my messages and everything.
He also said, do you travel for gigs?
It depends. It depends on where it's at and what we're doing that weekend, and if my wife's up for driving that far. Other than that, I'm down to go wherever.
And you're in our prayers. Hopefully your surgeries go well.
Yes, hopefully your surgeries go good. Trust me, surgeries, the hardest part of surgery is the healing process.
Paula, I love this couple. True unconditional love, just like Corinthians say 100. He's not the easiest person to live with, Paula, and I'm pretty sure he could say the same thing for me. But my parents were married 52 years when my mom passed away, and I was taught that, wedding vows mean something. Better for worse, richer for poorer, sickness and health. And damn it, I've been through it all. So I must love him.
I can't with you. It's getting cold.
Chapa. Thank you, Sam. Yes, we do love each other very much. Timo says he wants to hear that's all, folks. Your vocals. You really don't. You really
See,
don't.
I will show it off, but I want to have how girls attacking the house and she'll get mad because I get how groupies trying to get at me and stuff, and she's my only groupie.
I can't. Ernesto put, "How was your quarantine for you guys?" I worked during COVID. Yeah, I worked the whole time, but my kids, yeah, they were on the verge of killing each other.
With me, it's kind of like I'm in quarantine all the time.
It's
kind of like I'm in the dark 24/7.
Your kids are giving you dirty looks, by the way.
I'm not looking at you.
Yeah, you don't see that anymore, Paula. You don't see, parents that have been together 50, 60, 70 years anymore.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
But when you see it, it's amazing. My aunt and uncle were married 65 years when she passed away, something like that. I know it was more than my parents. And that was a power couple. Well, but I believe in unconditional love. That's why I'm single. Laugh out loud. I'm all about the real one, like my dad. I'm also Catholic. Laugh out loud. My mom used to tell me that, Paula. My mom used to tell me that you're never gonna find and want someone like your father, but you will find somebody that has something of your father. So I haven't figured out Manuel's and my dad's yet. I don't know. Maybe it's the stubbornness. There you go. That's what it is.
Hey, it's the way
My
we
father
read.
is very stubborn. Bruh.
It's the way we read.
Chata.
You don't like who keeps saying?
Dad, you want to eat on mine?
Tiny's put fuck COVID.
Give them an AS,
Took
a little
my uncle.
ASMR here.
Yeah, we had some family that Tiny that we lost to COVID.
The bologna.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that there was two of them that we lost that was fully vaccinated with no underlying conditions. So that makes me wonder, how much does the vaccine really work?
Well, I'm a COVID tester, and whether you're vaccinated or not, you could still test positive for COVID. You may some people have been asymptomatic, and some have light, mild symptoms, but they have COVID.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Tino put he got jokes, but that's hella good that he's in high spirits and can't nothing break him down.
Hey, so hopefully, you guys are hungry because I'm acting like, well, from what my kids will sit here laughing, we're watching Homie Hangout, and he gets on his live and he's driving. So just act like you're in the Homie Hangout right now.
Excuse me.
Did you say they? Ow.
What are you?
It's Marina. She's only making the joke everywhere. No. You literally are.
Tiny's book, crazy all the L's I've taken with all the loved ones I have, and I'm the troublemaker in the family.
Daddy wants it first.
Hey, you got the good comedy.
Yeah, I can relate with you on that one.
Daddy first.
Yeah.
Jillian. Hey, Jillian.
Honestly, I am surprised that everybody is still on here. Thank you very much. Tino put, what you eating, bro? Laugh out loud. Shit looks good. Is it Arby's? Laugh out loud.
Oh, that's later. I'll grab on some Arby's later. Now this is
You better stop.
Hey, it looks like a bacon cheeseburger. It tastes like it anyways. Is it a bacon cheeseburger?
Yeah. After I was
Do you want it to be a bacon cheeseburger?
It was the only thing that had a single patty.
It's just a double patty. It's double patty.
Did you guys forget that we're on live?
Sorry, my bad. I'm gonna go take a dab.
Someone put coffee in the
I'm gonna leave the room.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take a dab.
I'm gonna go leave the room.
See what happens when you live with your grown children.
Yeah, they get some of my daughters get their height from my mom's side of the family. They're hella tall, like 5 foot tall.
Tino put, or ask him, is it a CMS?
That's CMS.
3 times SoCal said today is National Hamburger Day.
Timo put, if I'm getting too far, let me know. I like to joke as well. Then you're on the right YouTube channel because that's all he freaking does.
Lies and false allegations.
Your mama.
And I love to joke. If you can't joke, you can't have fun. But really, what's CMS? Or is that? Forget it.
Don't guess. Sam put, homie hangout was fire. Josh is the man. Yes. Yep.
Yes, he is.
Ernesto said, are your kids allowed to play with your DJ equipment? No, we are not.
No, they're not allowed to touch. Even the grandkids know. You go over there and you just might as well
World War II.
find the switch.
No, you think that's bad. So one time,
True story.
true story. We were having a barbecue, right? Everybody knows not to touch my shit. So a friend of mine's friend was over. Music's playing. We're out in the backyard. Next thing you know, you hear the music stop here. Chook, chook, you hear scratching. What the fuck? Who the fuck's touching my shit? So I told him, hey, go see who's touching my shit. Then you hear the music and you hear, nah, hell no. I get up, I find my stuff to my DJ. I find my way to my DJ stuff. And I don't know where this dude was standing at. So I'm guessing where he was standing at. And I threw something at him. I just happened to throw it at the right spot. And I hit him. I was ready to throw down with his ass, blind and all. Blind, one leg and all. I was ready to throw down with his ass. But I kicked him out of my house. And my son was like, no, really, I'm sorry. My son's like, nah, you need to leave. My dad ain't playing. You got to leave. And mind you, my son, he's a little guy. He's like 6'1", about 280 pounds solid. So he's a little guy. So later on, it was funny because it became a joke. Don't touch the board. But yeah, that shit pissed me off.
Okay, you've been on here for like 3.5 hours.
But
And you got 14 people still watching you eat.
They're like, that's right.
Tell them to at least thank you for watching, sitting there chewing in their face. Yeah, and all up in their face. At least I put my face to the side. They can't see me.
Yeah.
I don't know what's that.
Sarah Romero said, it is awesome to see your family time. Everyone having fun.
Thank you. And you know what? I appreciate everybody that's on. I appreciate everybody that's still on. I know we've been on for a good minute. So being it's Sunday, I know a lot of people got to work, myself included. I got to get up and sit here for a minute since I can't hop to my wheelchair yet. But I know my kids got school in the morning. What?
Paul said laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
She's doing it again.
Eat it.
But I'll go ahead and let everybody go. This way you guys can get your rest. And I know my kids got school in the morning. So, like always, I'm a living proof. Make sure you tell your loved ones you love them before you leave your house because you're not guaranteed to make it back home. Be a blessing. Stay blessed. And I'm out.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.